Hello, everybody. Welcome back to EduTap EduTap. Just allow me to check some settings on YouTube. Yes, it's working, so we can start now. Right, so YouTube is also working. Live class is also working. Nandini Sood is asking, sir, I have purchased SEBI crash course, but I am unable to join. Call us on this number 8146207241 urgently. They will help you. And a warm welcome to all of you again. So, can we start? Can with all the lessons be on YouTube? No, no. YouTube ke liye, this is the last lesson which we are doing. From tomorrow onwards, there will be no live streaming on YouTube. Everything will happen in the paid courses only. Right? So can we start, everybody? Just write yes. Give me some positive energy. Right, I will keep it over here. Those who are having problem in joining the live class, this I'm speaking for YouTube students. If you are having some problem, then talk to our team 8146207241. Call them urgently and they will solve your problem. Simple. Okay. So let's start. This is our class number 2 for commerce and accountancy. And in this particular class, we will shift our focus from basics towards the theory base of accounting. Theory base basically means certain principles which governs the accounting as a subject, right? But before we move forward, you know the ritual of my class, and I don't have to repeat it now. You know what you have to do. Is everybody happy? Is everybody happy? Just drop your happy faces in the chat box. So let's have our momentum ahead. Let's keep our momentum ahead. We have to make sure that whatever challenges will come, we have to keep a smiling face. Now, first, what we will do is, where my friend is, that we will revise whatever we have done here in the morning class, right? So, first, let's define accounting. If you have to explain accounting to me, tell me how will you do it? Tell me how will you define accounting? In a very easy manner, I am asking, not the technical one. What is accounting? Fatafat tell me. Yes, accounting is nothing but it's a language of business via which language communicates to multiple people, right? And you don't have to raise your hands for answering. Just write your answers in the chat box, fatafat. So accounting is what? Accounting is basically nothing. It is a language of business which helps you to attain mutual understanding with certain users. Oh shit. Just a minute. Yes, now. And yes, after that, we understood that there has been one paradigm shift in accounting. Earlier, we were using accounting just for recording purpose. Now we have shift from recording purpose to analyzing the information which we get from the recording of transactions, right? So this also we understood. And then we understood the basic or the most easiest definition of accounting, which is accounting can be defined as a process wherein you identify, measure, record, communicate the required information related to the economic events of the organization to the interested users of the organization. Can I say that accounting is a one act or it is a one stop activity? Can I say that in accounting there is only one particular step? Fatafat, I need the answers in chat. It should be very fast. Okay. Yes, accounting is not just one-stop activity. Rather, it's a process where there will be different, I would say, activities which will be connected. Right. And we do accounting for multiple things, but the most important thing is economic event. Now, if I have to ask you to explain me economic event in certain few lines, how will you do it very quickly? Right? Economic events, I definitely need those particular events in the company which can be measured in monetary terms, which will affect the financial health of the company. At the same time, it should be an event, it should be a transaction, right? So these are the different things which helps you to identify that whether this is an economic event or not, right? And once you identify, then you move to measure, right? Once you identify multiple different types of economic events, then you move to measure them. Measure in the terms of monetary sense. Measure in the terms of monetary sense. After that, you move to recording. Recording is done in which particular order? Please tell me. Recording is done in which particular order? Yes, chronological order, right? And chronological order means what? Date wise. Okay. Then we move ahead to what? Communicating the information. To whom you will communicate the information? To whom you will communicate the information? You will communicate the information to multiple interested users. And interested users can be divided in how many categories? Fatafat, as fast. Yes, it's there are two categories, inside and the outside one. Inside one are basically those people who are working in the internal wings of the company, and external ones are the outside, right? Like for example, is a customer a internal interested user? Is customer an internal interested user? No. Customer is external. What will be the example of internal interested user? What will be an example of interested internal user? Yes, employees of the company. They are different top level employees like CEO, CFO, whatnot, right? And then we discuss certain external one also. Likewise, we can also have two categories of economic events, right? Internal economic events and external economic events. For example, if I'm supplying goods to the customer, will this be internal or external? If I'm supplying goods to the customer, this will be external one, right? And if I'm paying salary to my employees, this will be internal one, right? And yes, for organization, there are multiple synonyms which you have to remember: company, enterprise, and whatnot. But once you go deeper into finance and management classes, you will come to know the difference between organization, company, industry, and whatnot. Right. So this is the basic definition. And then we discuss regarding one accounting flow of information as well. Right. I hope you remember this particular image. First, you identify the economic events. Then you try to run your accounting process. Then you communicate. Right. But don't get confused. Don't get confused. Over here, we are communicating what? In step number 3, we are communicating what? Like we are giving what? Yes, we are giving the entire summary. And in summary, can you tell me what kind of summary? What kind of summary? Like summary will be provided through which particular documents? Tell me. Yes, financial summary with the help of income statement, balance sheet, and your cash flow statement, right? And in this accounting process, you are recording what? You are recording individual transactions or the individual economic events one by one. And then obviously you help your multiple interested users to make their decision. So this is the basics which we discussed. Then we discussed the scope of accounting, which starts with financial cost and management. Financial accounting deals with what? Financial accounting deals with the income statement, balance sheet, and your, I would say, what? Cash flow statement. If I have to see the assets and liabilities of a company, will I refer to the cash flow statement? Will I refer to the cash flow statement? The answer is no, right? I will not refer to the cash flow statement. I will refer to the BL, which is your balance sheet. If I have to check profit and loss, then will I go to the cash flow statement? Again, the answer is no. If I have to check the profit and loss, then I will definitely refer to the income statement or the profit and loss account, right? And if I have to check the movement of cash, then I will have to check the CFS, which is cash flow statement. Simple, right? And can I say that financial accounting is for both internal and for external people? Kind of yes, kind of yes. But generally, if you have to bifurcate, right, cost accounting and financial accounting, generally it is said that financial accounting is done for the external people and cost accounting is done for the internal interested users. But generally, right, can I say that cost accounting deals with the fixation of selling price? Can I say that cost accounting is done with the fixation of selling price? And will you do cost accounting for the external people? Will you do cost accounting for the external people? No, it is for internal people only. Then you come to the management accounting. Management accounting is like doing the managerial stuff, like calculating how many employees we need, getting them training and employment and all that stuff. Right? So this is all your management accounting. HR, budget. Yes, very good. Then we discuss regarding certain features or certain characteristics. Now, if I say reliability, relevance, understandability, comparability, consistency, and verifiability, are these quantitative or qualitative features of accounting? Are these qualitative or quantitative features of accounting? Yes, these are qualitative, right? When I say that I want information, that information needs to be, proved. by some document, then at which particular feature I'm referring to. If I am asking for proofs, then it's verifiability, okay, or whatever you pronounce it as. If I am telling you that you should follow one particular principle over a period of time, then which particular principle I'm referring to? Then it will be consistency. If I am asking you to make sure that you give the balance sheet, which is not complex, it should be we should be able to understand it in one go, then I'm referring to understandability. Very good. If I'm saying that I will compare Reliance to Adani's, then in which particular feature I'm referring to? Comparability. And can I say that comparability also makes sure that both these organizations should follow one unit of measurement, which is rupees, right? And can comparability happen inside the company also? Like if I'm comparing the profit of this year to the last year, then yes, again, comparability will come into the picture, right? And if I'm asking you to make sure that there should be no error in the balance sheet or in the other different instruments, then I'm referring to reliability. And relevance means what? Like you have to tell me what is the major theme of relevance. Relevance means that it should be relevant for the current period of time. You should not throw the outdated numbers. Rather, you should tell me the updated numbers. Outdated not required, only updated required. Right? And then we discuss regarding quantitative also, but quantitative is all about numbers, managing numbers, right? Then we discuss regarding the objectives. Objectives of accounting is what? To understand asset and liability, to understand about the profit and loss, to understand about the movement of cash, and to also make sure that interested users makes the good decision while they are understanding the financial statements of the company. Right? These were the only four objectives which we discussed. But is this the end of objectives of accounting? No. Right? You can add more and more objectives by your own whims and wishes. Right? And yes, then we discuss regarding certain very important terms of accounts. Assets. Define assets for me. Define assets for me. Define assets for me. Asset is basically what? Yes, asset is basically that particular resource which we own, and through this particular resource we can earn money. It's an economic resource which for which you will utilize the benefits in future or in past. When you will realize the benefits of this particular resource in future only, right? Now, how many categories of assets we have? Current and non-current. Non-current asset is also known as fixed asset, right? Give me three examples of each, current and non-current. First, I want for current. You should write your own examples. Do not cheat from the other person, right? Cash, stock, inventory I have taken. Then EMI. EMI, how it will be your current asset? Yes, very good. Cash, stock and inventory, same thing, Siddharth. Tell me, I am asking for current asset. Yes, bill receivables, debtors, right? Debtors are also there. Then you have your trade receivables. Then you have your trade receivables. Can I say bank in cash in my hand, which we have already included? Cash at bank account. Can I say cash at bank account is my current asset? Yes. Right. So all these are what? Yes, very good. The student who wrote prepaid expense. I hope you remember what is prepaid expense, right? Prepaid expense is your liability or an asset? It's your asset. Which asset? Current asset. If I'm saying that I have shares of one particular company which I will sell in 11.5 months, what it will be? Current asset or non-current? It will be a current asset. Anything which is less than 1 year, anything which will help you to realize the money in less than 1 year is your current asset. So the stocks hold or the shares which you have for 11.5 months will also be used as a current asset only. Fixed assets, come on, I need three examples from each of you to give me for fixed assets. Fixed asset includes plant, machinery, vehicles, the furniture which you have, the laptop which you have, everything which you will be using for more than 1 year, the benefit will be realized for more than 1 year, will be classified as a fixed asset, which we also call it as non-current assets. Same story with current liability and for non-current liability. Current liability is basically that particular liability which you have to dispose in less than 1 year. You have to make the payment in less than 1 year. Right? Outstanding rent, outstanding salaries, outstanding payment, outstanding wages, are all these current liabilities? Are all these current liabilities? Raw material, how raw material will be a current liability? Is raw material a current liability? No, right? It's your current asset. So don't get confused, right? And if I ask you this thing, non-current liability includes anything which you have to pay after 1 year, right? So it's your long-term loan, long-term debts, long-term bonds, long-term debentures, and all that stuff, right? Can I call outstanding wages as a current liability? Outstanding wages as a current liability? Yes, I can call it because we discussed outstanding salaries. So outstanding salaries is an expense, right? Outstanding salary was a current liability. Expense was the salary part. So if you have outstanding wages, same story, right? Then we discuss regarding capital and drawings. C&D stands for what? Capital and drawings, right? Capital is the amount invested or withdrawn from the company. It is the amount invested by whom? By whom? It will be invested by whom? The owner of the company. And drawings is basically what? That the person is withdrawing. Person is withdrawing from the business accounts, right? So this is what drawings is, right? And then if I ask you if the owner of the business is using his own personal account to do some expenses, will that be counted as drawings? The answer is no, right? Then we discuss regarding sales and purchases, right? How many types of sales you can have? How many types of sales you can have? Two, right? You have your cash sales and credit sales. In the same parlance, we also have your purchases, cash purchase and credit purchase. But tell me, out of sale and purchase, what will bring you revenue? Very basic question. From sales and purchases, what will bring you revenue? Sales only. Purchases is a kind of an expenditure only. Then we discuss regarding debtors and creditors. Debtors are the people to whom I have to pay, right? True or false? Debtors are the people to whom I have to pay. True or false? The answer will be false, right? Debtors are the people to whom, from whom I will receive money, right? So these people are the assets of the business, current assets. Debtors के लिए the same story of and your trade receivables and your bills receivable will be followed, right? And then we have your creditors to whom you have to pay. Outstanding and prepaid, this also we have discussed. So this completes your entire life class of the morning, which we had. Everybody connected? All of you? Everybody? And should we do this revision every now and then so that we understand that where we are taking our live classes? Right. By the way, this technique was invented by me only, and I am very proud for that. This is basically RRR, revision, revision, revision. Right. So from every class we begin, we revise the old part because then only it will make sense to move ahead. And a time will come when we will revise 8 chapters in one class. We do it in management. Let's see that if we can do it in accounts also. But surely, the more you revise, the better it is because that makes the subjects very small, right? For example, if you see in morning, we completed this entire part, but right now we have just completed this part in very quick period of time, right? So let's move forward now to accounting principles, right? Now, accounting principles. Now, this is where we are starting with chapter number 2. Accounting principles are basically certain guidelines which you have to follow in your business. Like, see, today, if we are speaking English, there are certain grammar rules. Today, if you write Hindi or if you speak Hindi, there is Hindi Vyakran. Vyakran is like grammar of Hindi. So if you see English grammar or if you see Hindi Vyakran, these are basically guiding you that how you have to use a language. In the same manner, if you check about accounting, accounting also has certain rules or certain kind of guidelines which you should follow. Now see, if two people are there, suppose Ramesh and Suresh are there, and they both are making financial statements. They are both making financial statements. I mean that they are doing financial accounting in which we make three basic statements: profit and loss, balance sheet, and your cash flow. If these two people are making their statements, then definitely they can do the stuff by their own. If they do not have any common ground, they can do whatever they want to do, right? Nobody will be coming to stop them. Ram will say that I will show assets and liabilities in profit and loss account. Sham will say that I will show assets and liabilities in cash flow. So therefore, to make sure that these people are having some common ground, we have the concept of accounting principles, right? Accounting principle basically helps all the accountants around the world to be on a common junction. Today, we are always telling you that prepaid expense or your, I would say, multiple short-term assets are known as current assets, right? But if in Australia or if in I would say in USA or if in India only, if people are following different theorems, that it won't work, right? So we need a common ground which makes sure that everybody produces the same kind of results when asked for. And this is where your accounting principle comes into the picture. So this I have told you as a need, that why we need accounting principles, because every subject has certain principles. Insurance also has insurance principles. Pension also has pension principles. In the same manner, we have accounting principles which governs the concept of accounting. Right. Now, is there only one principle? The answer is no. So in our today's class, we will cover multiple principles which governs the concept of accounting. Right. Now, these principles which helps us in maintaining consistency and uniformity in the financial statements. Consistency, again, the same story. Like I am following the same principle over and over and over and over above. Like for example, if I have started accounting in rupees, then I have to follow it for multiple years to come. Right? Uniformity means that you again present your accounts in a uniform format. Uniform means what? That you have the same standard of balance sheet throughout multiple years. So consistency is with principles, uniformity comes with the format, right? But both things tells you the same, that you have to carry forward the legacy from which you started for, right? Moving forward. Now, these accounting principles are also known as accounting concepts, accounting conventions, accounting postulates, but if you combine everything, they are known as generally accepted accounting principles. Generally accepted around the world. Generally accepted around the world, right? So accounting principles bolo या accounting concepts bolo, or you all means the same thing. But mostly in your examination language, you will see this particular word, which is gap. Generally accepted accounting principles, right? Moving forward. Now, there are two tools for consistency and uniformity, right? Consistency, again, the same story. You have to carry forward the same principle over and over a year again. Uniformity comes with the format. And yes, in uniformity, you can also say that if I am comparing Adani's balance sheet to the, I would say what, to Reliance balance sheet, then they should have a kind of a similar format so that it becomes easy for me. For example, whenever you will apply for any share or for any investment through multiple, I would say what, brokerage apps like Zerodha, or through, I would say, Grow, you will see that they follow a uniform pattern. Like they will tell you that this is the share price, this is the chart, and all that stuff. So this brings uniformity, which helps you in what? Again, in comparing the situations or in comparing the different financial statements of different companies, right? Now, to help you to bring consistency and uniformity, we generally have gap and accounting standards. Accounting standards are basically more specific in nature, like accounting standards for inventory. So that particular accounting standard will only talk that how you have to value your inventory in the balance sheet, or how you have to keep a record of your inventory when you are recording. So accounting standards for property, plant and equipment, accounting standard for foreign exchange transactions. So you add accounting standard for one particular specific domain. But generally accepted accounting principles are general. It applies all across the business, right? But these two are very important, because if I'm doing some inventory work, if I'm recording the inventory, I need my other fellow also to understand the accounting standard for inventory, so that we both are on the similar page, right? So what is the difference between gap and accounting standard? First of all, accounting standard will talk about just one particular economic event, whereas gap is journal in nature, which will be applied in the entire organization, right? And first, in this particular class, our focus will be on the gap, right? Accounting standards we will understand once you have a basic knowledge of all the different concepts of accounting. Now let's move forward to the main agenda of our class. These are the accounting principles which we have to study one by one. Now, if this is scaring you, then you should not be scared. Why? Because this is very easy. Once we revise, right, this topic will be over in 10 minutes, right? But first, when you are building your conceptual clarity, you have to focus with me on each and every principle, right? Yes, accounting standards are particular in nature. You can also say that follow industry standard. Yes, iPad, you have also said the same thing. I think you are referring to uniformity and consistency wala point. Now, let's start with the first principle, my friends, which is entity concept. First, in the today's class itself, I tell you one thing, or I told you one thing rather. For whom do you do accounts? Like if you are preparing accounts, for whom you are doing it? You are doing it for a business. Why you are not doing for an owner? Because accounts is a language of business. right? And we always say that you do accounting for a business. So entity concept basically says entity concept. Okay, so I think there is some issue in this particular slide. No worries. I will explain you because this slide is directly starting from money measurement. Don't worry, I will explain you. Okay. See, entity concept basically says what? That you have your business separate and your owner separate. Your owner as separate, right? And I told you in the beginning itself that company itself is an artificial person. You are doing accounting for the company, not for the owner. Now, what is the amount called which is invested by the owner? That particular amount is known as what? Capital. So capital will be going into the business, right? Capital will be going into the business. Simple, right? But tell me one thing, my friends. Once the business concludes, once the business is over, once the business is saying bye bye to the all over people, will owner withdraw this particular capital or will business pay this particular capital to the owner? My answer to you is, my question to you rather is that if owner is giving certain capital to the business and once the business concludes, don't you think it's the responsibility of the business to pay back the owner? Right? Business should pay back the owner. And this will only happen once when the company is liquidating. Liquidating means what? That company is closing its business, right? So can I conclude when business has to pay to the owner, can I call capital as a liability then? Can I call capital as a liability then? Think. I'm not forcing you to accept this particular statement like just a statement. Think like this. If capital is a liability, why it is a liability? Simply because, my friends, a time will come when business will definitely wind up. A time will come. I don't know exact time, but let's say that after 15,000 years, business was there, owner was also there. Or you can say after 15 years, business is concluded. And then definitely business has to pay back the capital back to the owner of the, I would say what? Back to the owner. So therefore, always remember, capital is also a kind of a liability. It's a liability. And remember, it's a liability. I'm not saying that it's a loan. I'm just referring to the word liability, right? Now, somebody is writing this particular thing in the chat, which I will like to point it out. Tell me one thing, will you pay interest on capital? Like you pay interest on loan. Don't you think you will be paying interest on capital? The answer is no, because loan is borrowed. Loan is borrowed. Over here, the owner is investing his part of money in the business. So you don't pay any interest on capital. Hello, everybody. Clear till this particular point? Clear to this particular point? Right? So if you see, my friend, over here, please remember that capital is a liability. Now, if I make a balance sheet, I'm writing like just a basic format. Liabilities over here and assets over here. I'm writing liabilities on my left hand side and assets on my right hand side. Let's say that Mr. Ramesh invested 7 lakh of rupees in the business. So where should I write? Liability or on asset? Where should I write? Liabilities or on asset? Definitely I will write rupees 7 lakh over here. Right? I will write rupees 7 lakh over here and it will be given a tag of, I would say what? Capital. I will write capital over here and the amount over here. Agreed or not? Now, from this particular capital, which was infused by the owner, I am, let's say, purchasing a machine of rupees 2 lakh and 5 lakh will be shown as what? Cash. 5 lakh will be shown as cash. So in asset side, I'm writing cash. And I'm also writing what? Let's say that I'm purchasing a machine. So over here, I have told you from the money which was invested by the owner, from the 7 lakh, 2 lakh I'm giving for machinery and 5 lakh I'm keeping it as simple cash, right? You see that the total has matched 7 lakh and 7 lakh. Simple. So this is what you have to understand. Once this particular business concludes, then definitely this particular capital has to be paid back. Simple, right? This is what entity concept is. Entity concept basically tells you that the capital which the owner is bringing is nothing. It's a kind of a liability. And if I just want to ask you one thing, like this is a wrong question which I'm asking, but you have to answer it. Capital will be a current liability or a non-current liability? Tell me. capital will be a current liability or a non-current liability? Although this is the wrong question to ask altogether, but still I'm asking. It's a kind of a non-current liability, kind of a, not a pure, right? Now, can I say that as per the entity concepts, you will also have drawings into the picture? You will also have drawings into the picture. Definitely, yes. If money has been withdrawn, so business will say what? That take your money, you are withdrawing it from my business account. So drawing and capital comes from the entity concept only. This is where we finish our very first principle, which is entity concept. Hello, everybody. Understand? Understanding or not? That what is entity concept? What if the business is in loss? Yes, if business is in loss, that will be loss which will be borne by the owner itself. Simple. Interest on capital is not paid, my friend. Interest on capital is not paid. This is what I told to you. Capital is a factor, cost and profit will be payment against it. No, you are going in economics. Economics ko bhi dur rakho because capital is a factor of production. I agree. You have certain returns on the factor of production. That concept is different. Right now, we are discussing about accounts. How does cash comes under asset? Why it will not come? Cash is a classic example of asset only, right? Which kind of asset cash is? Tell me. Cash is which kind of asset? Yes, Parth, I agree. Capital is equity, not a liability. But if I am putting liabilities and assets, I was just asking a wrong question. This also I told to you that this is a wrong question. But still, just to check the concepts, I was asking about that particular concept. Right? Understood? Now, can capital be negative? No, it can be zero only, not negative. Chaliye. No, see, I will again like to make this statement very much clear. Capital is a kind of an equity. I totally agreed. But just for classifying capital in two different heads of liability, I was asking that particular question, which you all have to delete, right? Now let's come to the second type of principle, which is your money measurement. Money measurement, again, the same story. That can you measure the emotions of an employee? No. So that is not an economic event. So money measurement means what? That you have to make sure that you are doing recording. At the same time, you are measuring that particular economic event in the terms of money. So only those transactions that and happenings in the organization which can be expressed in the terms of money will be recorded in the books of account. This we have discussed in the morning. At the same time, there are certain economic events which will never be recorded because you cannot measure them in the monetary terms, right? And there are certain events itself, like appointment of manager, capability of human resource. You will definitely avoid it. These are not the material to be recorded. Simple. And in money measurement concept, we also have to remember that we will use one particular unit of measurement. Like if I'm buying 30 personal computers, 2 acres of land, and one other item like 30 chairs and table, I will have to identify their monetary value. I will make sure that I keep all of my units in the same denomination, like lakhs and crores, whatever the denomination of Indian currency is. Simple. So this is what your money measurement concept is. Clear, everybody? All of you? What is this statement? If capital is a like, see, my friends, I will again like to tell you. Again, I would like to tell you, you are getting confused over here. Like, see, this is a basic format of balance sheet, but this is a basic one. There are advanced formats also. Right now, if you only write liabilities on the left hand side and assets on the right hand side, where will you put capital? You will put capital in liability. Simple. So my question to you was, which was a wrong question, which I am saying it for the third time, but it was just to check your knowledge, right? That if you have to classify capital in current and non-current, so where you will put it, right? So you should forget that particular question right now, but you always have to remember that capital is the liability. But further, once we explain you the equity concept, then I will explain you that yes, capital is fundamental a liability only, but you call capital as equity. For that, you have to wait. Simple, right? Yes. So this is what your money measurement is. Now we are moving to the third concept, periodicity. Periodicity concept basically says that you have to follow one particular period of time. Like today, for example, if I have Ramesh, Ramesh, and let's say Jalaj. These are the three people which I have. Ram is saying that Reliance give me the accounting period for 1 month. Give me the accounting information for 1 month. I need your balance sheet for 1 month. I need your profit and loss account for 1 month. Ramesh is saying that I need your profit and loss account, which shows the story of 2 months. Jalaj is saying that I need your profit and loss account, which shows the story of 7 months. So don't you think it will become quite complex task for Reliance to give the information for multiple periods? It will be. Therefore, to standardize things, therefore, to make a standardization, we have the periodicity concept. Periodicity concept basically tells you that every accounting or every company rather has to present their financial statements after a particular period of time, right? Accounting period. Accounting period refers to the span of time at the end of which financial statements of the enterprise are prepared. This basically means that if you are asking for balance sheet will be available to you after a particular period of time. You cannot say Reliance that Reliance give me a balance sheet of 1 month. That is not there in the case. Right now, what can be an accounting period as per the Indian regulations? As per the Companies Act and Income Tax Act, income statement should be prepared annually. So you cannot ask the company that give me the income statement for 2 months. You cannot do it. You will only ask as per the laws and regulation that Reliance give me the income statement for last 1 year. Annually means what? 1 year only, right? As per the listed companies. Now, what is listed companies? Like those companies which are registered on National Stock Exchange and your Bombay Stock Exchange, you can call them as listed companies. Listed means those companies where shares are traded on National Stock Exchange and on Bombay Stock Exchange. Tell me, is Oyo, which is owned by Mr. Ritesh, is it a listed company? Is it a listed company? The answer is no. I cannot buy the shares of Oyo. But if I talk about Reliance, is Reliance a listed company? Yes, because shares of Reliance are available on the stock exchanges of India. Simple. So when we talk about listed companies, SEBI says they have to publish their quarterly results to ascertain the profitability and financial position at the end of every month of 3 months period, which basically means a quarter. A quarter is a collection of 3 months only. So you start from financial year April, May, June. So April to June is your first quarter. Then you go to July, August, September is your second quarter. Then you move to October, November, December is your third quarter. And then you move to the fourth quarter, which is January, February, and March. So if you are listed in India, if your company is listed in India, then as per SEBI laws, you have to present your financial statements in every 3 months, right? So you have the right to inspect the financial statements of the company in every 3 months. And after the full year, they will also present the entire picture, which is as per the Companies Act and the Income Tax Act, right? So this basically tells you that as per the accounting period concept, you have to show the financial statements to the interested users after a particular period of time only. So even if the interested users are asking that tell me the information of 2 months, you will not tell that because you are protected as per the laws of India. Clear, everybody? Can I move ahead to the next principle, which is revenue recognition? All of you, let me check the YouTube chat also. Clear, everybody? All of you? Right. Cool. Now we are moving ahead. Before that, you answer this question. And yes, I also have to tell you one more thing. Economic life of an enterprise is split into periodic intervals such to measure performance. This is known as by periodicity. Right. Now, I also have to tell you two terms. Financial year, we all know it starts from April and then it closes to the March of the next year, right? So you have your 1st April to 31st March, right? But we also have a calendar year. Calendar year starts from Jan and ends on December. So this is also an information which you should know. I again repeat, April to March is your financial year and calendar year is your January to December, right? Now, moving forward to the next principle, which is revenue recognition. This is also very, very important. Now, if I tell you two things, my friend, let's say that today is 1st January. Okay, 1st January of any one particular year. You have sold some goods to Rajesh. You have sold some good to Rajesh. So Rajesh should be paying to you. But Rajesh says that I don't have money right now. I will pay you after 2 months. So this is a kind of a credit sales. Now, after 2 months, he is paying you on 1st March. He is paying you on 1st March. Now tell me in which particular date on which particular date you will record the transaction, because this is definitely an economic event. The value of goods I'm telling you is 50,000. Now, will you record the transaction on 1st January because the sale has took place on this date? Or will you record the transaction on 1st of March because on this date Rajesh is paying the payment to you? Yes, the transaction will be recorded on 1st of January. W- Now, this is where revenue recognition help you. Revenue recognition basically tells you that you should record the transaction as and when it has happened. As and when is that happened. The concept of revenue recognition requires that revenue for a business transaction should be included in the accounting records only when it is realized. Realized means what? That when your right to receive arises. So if I'm selling some goods to Mr. Rajesh on 1st January, my right arrives. On my right arises. He will pay me on the 1st of March. That's a complete different story because I will receive the money. But my right has arisen today only. Right means what? मेरी एक kind of an asset has been generated today only that I will receive money after 2 months. So you record the transaction on 1st January itself, right? Whenever the sale is made, you have to record it. As simple as that. Okay. Now, example, credit sales are treated on revenue on the day of sales are made, not on the money received from the buyer. So, for example, if you have January, February, and March, you manufacture the goods in January, goods are ready in January itself. You deliver those goods in Feb, and in March, you receive the cash. So, in which particular month you will be recording the transactions? Definitely in the month of Feb itself. Simple. But there are certain exemptions to it, which I will explain you. Right? Let's move forward. Let's take one more case, then I will explain you the exemptions. Suppose Mr. XYZ is paying some rent. He is paying some rent, and in this case, suppose he receives the rent, not paying, he is receiving the rent, right? So if he has given this property on rent, there is a person who came in this particular property, definitely he will receive the rent then, right? Mr. XYZ has given some property on rent, and now he is bound to receive some rent from the person who has taken this particular property on rent. Now the question says, suppose he receives the rent of for March on 1st April. He receives the rent of March on 1st April. In which month you will recognize the rent? He is receiving the rent of the month of March in the month of April. So in which particular month you will do the recording? Yes, I will do the recording in the month of March itself, because in the month of March, my right arrives. My right arises. So you have to focus on what? You have to focus on the on that particular case wherein the right has arisen. Simple, right? Just allow me to check the brightness of my screen. Just give me a minute. Yes, now I think its batteries is also. Yes, moving forward now. So this completes our what? This completes our one more principle, which was revenue recognition, which we also call it as realization concept, which we also call it as realization, right? Now, my friends, I'm moving ahead to explain you certain exemptions over here, certain exemptions, right? So first exemption, and this particular case is clear, right? That Mr. XYZ will recognize the rent of March in the month of March itself, not in the month of April. We are not focusing on cash. We are focusing on the right which arises in the month of March itself. Moving forward to certain exemptions. So we have to discuss two exceptions. First exemption is in the case of long-term contracts. For example, if Mr. XYZ has told to the government of India that I will build one dam for you and the cost of the dam will be 20 lakh of rupees. Now, tell me, will this particular dam take some period of time? Yes, it will definitely take a lot of time to build the dam. Now, what happens is that when the contract is too big, by which I mean in the terms of duration, revenue will be recognized in parts. Revenue will be recognized in parts. For example, if you see, if you say on one very fine day, I tell to you that I have completed 10% of the dam till now. What is the overall cost? 20 lakh. So you will do 10% of 20 lakh. And you can say that, yes, I'm marking the entry of 22 lakhs in my books of account. It's basically that, and this is an exemption. This is an exemption. If this exemption does not exist, then many people will be doing what? They will be doing cheating. For example, if a contract will be completed after 20 years, how can I recognize the revenue today itself? I don't know, right? What will happen in the next coming 20 years? It is very, very uncertain. Therefore, this exception was brought. I again repeat, when the revenue has to be realized, when the revenue has to be realized after a particular long period of time, in that particular case, revenue recognition principle says that you have to follow the exemption. You have to check the proportionate amount. If your project is completed by 10% or 20%, then you recognize that particular revenue on that particular day itself. Hello, everybody clear? And yes, guys, don't worry. Like I am seeing some people are using AS7, AS117 in the chat box. Don't worry. A time will come when you will understand everything. These people have already understood the concept, so they are writing over here. Right? Any fixed cap? No. If we study the accounting standards, therein I will tell you certain limits are there, but right now there is no, I would say what, a kind of a framework which you have to remember. Any minimum time period for considered to be as long? Generally, we don't have any period over here, but it's like a kind of a kind of an understanding, you can say, that if that period is long enough, wherein uncertainties will come into the picture, then you have to put the exemption into the place, right? But if the transaction is small, if the transaction is like 2 months, 3 months, so I will not consider that period as full of uncertainties, right? Ideally, yes, ideally you are saying, you are focusing on the word ideally, but this is an exemption. In the case of exemption, the word ideally will not be followed. Right. So we are moving ahead now to the second exemption. Second exemption follows in the installment. For example, if Mr. Ram has sold a phone to some customer and Mr. Customer has said that I will give you the installments, I will pay this particular phone, the cost of this particular phone in installments. So again, in this particular case itself, you will again have certain exemptions as per revenue recognition. See, if you are paying in installments, for example, Mr. Ram has made 10 installments for this particular phone, right? So the total cost of the phone was 10,000 and I have made 10 installments. So each installment is of rupees 1,000 and this includes interest, right? This includes interest. Now, if you see in this case, my friend, I will recognize the revenue on the day when the installment becomes due. I will recognize the installment on the case when it becomes due. So for example, if in the month of January, a particular person has to give me the money, a particular person has to give me the money. So on that particular day itself, I will recognize the revenue. I will not recognize the revenue for the entire years or for entire months, because there can be some chance, right, that the person who is giving me the money, he or she can default, right? So just to make sure, just to make things very, very easy, in revenue recognition, there is an exception that follow you will follow a standard practice when you are doing the installment sales or when you are giving an installment feature. In case of installment, the amount collected in installment will be treated as revenue. As simple as that. And you will only recognize the revenue when the installment becomes what? Becomes due. No, no, installment follows cash then. No, no, no. I'm not saying cash. For example, if the installment becomes due on 1st January and I'm receiving the money in 15th January, so on which particular date you will record the transaction? Tell me. Installment as an expense. Right now we are discussing revenue. So in this particular case, I am assuming that Mr. Ram is selling the phone and then there is one particular person who is buying the phone. So this person is paying and Mr. Ram is receiving. So for Mr. Ram, it's a revenue, not an expense. Okay, Nandini? Yes, you will recognize the revenue on 1st January itself. It's not cash basis. It's your, I would say what? Revenue recognition concept followed in the concept of installments. Hello, everybody. Clear? All of you. Hello, everybody. Clear? All of you. All of you. Can the owner take out funds as a loan from the company and pay interest on it? Don't go in that domain because that is totally different case altogether. How can owner take a loan from the company itself? Owner has multiple other options to take loan. So owner cannot take the loan from the company itself, right? So can you please explain this once again? This particular installment case, Umansh, you are saying this particular installment case or the previous one? Only installment. Okay, I will try it again. Just give me some space. If I say that I have purchased this particular phone, I have purchased this particular phone from Mr. Ram. Okay, so Mr. Ram is there and I have purchased this phone from Mr. Ram. So Mr. Ram has given me the facility of installment. Mr. Ram has given me the facility of installment. What is the installment? The total cost of the phone was 10,000. Simple. And he has given me 10 installments. So each installment is of rupees 1,000. Now, the date of transaction is 1st January itself. But am I paying 10,000 on 1st January? Tell me, am I paying 10,000 on 1st January? And I need answers from those people who are confused in this particular case. The answer is no, right? How much I am recognizing on 1st January? Tell me this. If the first installment starts on 1st January itself, how much I will recognize? 1,000 only, right? Same story in Feb, same story in March till 10 months, right? Tell me if I am recognizing 1,000 on 1st January and if I make the payment to Mr. Ram on 15 January, will this affect accounting? No, because on 1st January itself, I have recorded the transaction. Now let's come to Feb. In Feb, on what particular date, I will record the transaction? 1st of Feb itself, irrespective of when I'm making the money. So when you are doing installment sales, when you are dealing with installments and installment sales I'm using, we are talking from the revenue concept right now. So I will record the revenue on the date of installment becoming due. So on 1st of every month, installment becomes due. And then definitely you will have to record it. Now, Omansh, is it clear? So what if they make default? For that, you have to understand bad dates, which I will explain you in some other class. Isn't it contradiction as both AS9? No, no, no. Right now you are moving a way ahead of me. Clear? Is this clear? First, tell me, all of you. Yes, on installment date, your right to receive the revenue is received. But how is this exception? This is exception, like this is an installment case, right? If this is not an installment, then you will recognize the entire revenue on the first day itself, which is 10,000. But you are not doing the same case over here. Explain the previous one. Okay. In the previous case, the project duration was very, very big. The project duration. Tell me if I am guaranteeing to you that I will build a express freight from Delhi to Mumbai, but it will take 15 years. Does my right arises on the first day itself? I have not given you the project right now. I have not completed any project. Once I complete the project, then only Government of India will pay the money, right? So if I have not completed the project, will Government of India pay me the money? Will Government of India give me the money? The answer is no. But let's say that I have completed 20% of the project. Now, once I prove that, yes, sir, I have completed 20% of the project, then Government of India is bound to pay me the money for 20% of the project. But my right of recognizing the revenue arises on that particular date when the 20% of the project is completed. Understanding or not? Hello, everybody else. Hello. Understanding or not? So when the project is very, very big, you don't have any proof to tell that how will you complete the project. In that case, there is an exemption in this particular case. Yes, these are exceptions, but in most of the cases, you will just see that an a revenue has to be realized, and when you will realize it, that's it. Clear, everybody? This completes our revenue recognition also. Hello, all of you. And झूठ मत बोलना, अगर doubt है तो please बताइए. Will all the classes for commerce and accounts will be taken by you? Yes. Answer is yes. Okay. Clear. Now we are moving to accrual concept. See, accrual concept and revenue recognition are like kind of same similar story. But the only difference is in accrual concept, we will talk about revenue plus the expenses. But in revenue recognition, we only talk about revenue, right? Accrual is an accounting term, my friend. Accrual means you do something in advance, kind of stuff. Okay, but you can search the literal meaning in the dictionary. Now, tell me if I have to pay salary. If I have to pay salary for, let's say, in the month of Feb, I was about to pay the salary, but I don't have any money right now. I don't have any, sorry. I was about to pay the salary in the month of Feb, but I don't have any month right now. And I paid this particular salary in the next month, which is March. So tell me in which particular month I will record the transaction, in the month of Feb or in the month of March? Yes, you will record in the month of Feb itself. Why? Because your right to pay or your obligation to pay arises in this particular month itself. So you will not record in March. You will record the salaries which were due in the month of Feb itself. So this is where accrual helps you. Revenues are recorded. Revenues are recorded when revenue is realized. Realized means what, by the way? Realize means what? I have told you before as well. Realize means what? Hello. Yes, the right arises. The right arises. So when revenue is realized, when revenue, the right arises, you will record it. No terms and condition except those exemptions. Okay. Not when cash is received. But expense is recorded when it is realized. Expense is recorded when it is realized means what? When it becomes due or when you are obligated to pay it. Simple, not when cash is paid, right? So this is basically an accrual concept. Accrual is a bigger concept, you can say, and revenue recognition is a part of it, right? So if I draw a diagram like this, accrual has the super subset. Accrual is bigger and revenue recognition is part of it, right? Clear, everybody? All of you? Everybody, all of you? Clear? Now, let's move forward. Revenue recognition applies only in revenue. This I have told you. And yes, one more thing, accrual works in the concept of periodicity. This basically means what? That once you have like number of months with you, number of years with you. So this is where periodicity again comes into the picture, right? That you need to do accounting for particular, I would say, quarters or for year. So if revenue right has been realized in this year, I will record in this year only, not in the upcoming year. Right. So accrual and periodicity is kind of synced in nature. Synced means what? That they both work hand in hand. Why periodicity? Because you have limited time frame in which you have to report. And because of this time frame, accrual also comes into the picture. Simple. Let's move forward. This is the question which you have to solve for me. First, Mr. JD buys clothing of 50,000, paying cash 20,000. He buys the clothing. So is this the revenue or an expense? Is this the revenue or an expense? Tell me. This isn't definitely an expense. So tell me, if I have to record this particular expense, at what particular value I will record? Mr. JD buys the clothing of 50,000 by paying just cash of 20,000. So I will record this at the price of 50. Why? Because my expense has been realized. The obligation has been realized. Hello, everybody, understanding or not? But when you go to the second part, sells at 60,000, of which customers paid only 50,000. So he is selling some products also at 60,000, but customer is currently paying 50,000, 10,000 customer will pay later. So this is a sale, this is your revenue. So what value will you record? 60,000 or 50,000? Yes, I will record 60,000 because my right has arrived. My right has been activated. You can say that as well. So cost will be recorded at 50,000. Revenue will be recorded at 60,000. Hello, everybody. And I was seeing some student was asking about accrual. Who was it? Because the chat flows very fast sometimes. Clear, everybody, that how to recognize your incomes and your expenses as per the accrual concept? Can you please repeat? Repeat what? Like, be specific. What you want me to repeat? Should I focus right now on establish, not on focus right now on realize, not on establish. In first case, it will be that he will pay the remaining. Yes, he will pay the remaining somewhere in the future. But right now in the books of account, I will do 50. Accrual expense part. Accrual expense part basically means that you have to record. You have to record the expense whenever it becomes due. So if the expense has become due, you have to record it. For example, if I have to pay salaries to my employees, so the expense has become due. The expense has been activated. But due to some issues, I was not able to pay the salary of Feb in the month of Feb. I was not having money, so I didn't pay any money to my employees. Right. So the accrual concept says that if the expense has become due, then you should record it in that particular month itself. You should not wait for the next month to come. So whatever you have understood in revenue recognition, just apply the same concept in the accrual concept also, because the fundamental thing is same. The only difference is revenue recognition works on revenue, accrual works on revenue as well as the expense. Now is it clear? Pakka, Harsh? Pakka? Now, let's move forward to some more different concepts. So at this particular junction, we have cleared entity, money measurement, periodicity, revenue recognition, and accrual. Now comes a very, like this is the last confusing thing which you have to understand. Next, all of these are very easy. Matching concept. Let's try to understand it. Suppose, let's say, again, let's start with an example. Suppose I ordered 1000 units from the supplier. Suppose I ordered 1000 units as a supplier and the cost of each unit is rupee 1. Let's keep it simple. So my total purchase value was rupees 1000. First of all, will I record it or not? Yes, I will record it because this is an economic event for me. This is definitely an economic event, so I will record it. But from these 1000 units which I have purchased, I was only able to sell 800 units. I was only able to sell 800 units at rupees 2. My cost of buying is rupee 1. I am selling the goods at rupees 2. So my total revenue is what? My total revenue is 1600. Isn't it? Now the situation comes into the picture. I have recorded the expense on 1000 units and I am recognizing the revenue on 800 units. मैं जब expenses कर रहा हूं तो 1000 units पे कर रहा हूं and जब मैं revenue recognize कर रहा हूं, when I am recognizing my revenue, it is on 800 units. Don't you think this is unfair? How many of you think this is unfair? Or how many of you think this is fair? Unmatched, right? They are not matching. So the matching concept says this. Matching concept says this, that whatever your revenue has been realized on whatever units you have realized, you have to match the cost according to that. Can I say over here that I have got 1600 as profit और I have got 600 as profit? 1600 में से सीधा 1000 आपने deduct कर दिया. The answer is no, because why? These 1000 is on the cost of 1000 units. The cost of rupees 1000 is on the 1000 units, right? And let me make it more simple. Chalo. If I just say, what is my profit in this case? What is my profit in this case? You cannot say it is 600. Why? Because this is 800 units sold and this is 1000 units purchased. So how you can compare 1000 to 800? Right? If I have to calculate my real profit, what I will do, I will compare 800 units ka cost. 800 units ka cost will be what? 800. And now you have the selling of 800 units only, which you are selling at 1600. So now you can calculate the true profit and loss on the 800 units, right? So 1600 minus 800, now you have 800 as a profit. Hello, are you able to understand or not? या मैं अपने आप को ही समझाए जा रहा हूँ. So basic picture is that whatever units you have sold, you have to match it with the exact same number of units in your expense, right? If I sell, let's say if I just check your knowledge again, let's say that I sold 700 units this time at the cost of rupees 2. So my total sale is 1400. Tell me what profit I will get in this particular case if the entire cost of purchasing is rupees 1. 700. Simple, right? Why 700? Cost of purchase of 700 units will be 700 again. And my selling is at 1400. So 1400 minus 700 is again 700. Those who have not understood, I will explain it one more time. I will explain it one more time, right? The remaining 200 will be liability or an asset. This is very good question. Tell me, remaining 200s will be carried forward to the next year or not? Assuming that this year is completed, I will carry forward these 200 units which were unsold to the next year. And in the next year, can I sell them? Can I sell them? Yes. So once you sell them, you will receive revenue. How it can be liability then? It will be an asset, right? Unsold stock, unsold inventory. Simple, right? Now, now I will again explain all of you one time more so that all students are connected with me. It states, matching concept says expenses incurred in the accounting period should be matched. Read this, should be matched with the revenues during that period. It follows from this that the revenue and expenses incurred to earn these revenues must be belonging to the same accounting period. This is what the definition says. But right now, let's try to bring some example. And I need everybody attention because this is the last confusing thing. Then everything becomes easy. I bought 10 toys at 10 per toy. So my total cost of purchase becomes what? 100, right? Total cost of purchase. But let's say that I sold only 8 at 11 per toy. I sold only 8 at 11 per toy. So can I say my total selling is at 88 rupees? But is this 88 rupees on 10 toys or is it on 8 toys? Is it on the 8 toys? It is on the 8 toys. So can I say that my profit is rupees 12? Can I say that my profit is rupees 12? No. You only tell me what my profit will be. You only tell me what my profit will be. First, I am selling only 8 units. The revenue recognized in this particular case is 88. But what is the cost of 8 units? Each, each unit will be purchased at 10. So 8 units ka cost will be 80. Now you have the profit, which is 88 minus 80, which will be rupees 8, right? So this is what matching concepts tells to you. Matching concept basically says that whatever you have sold, match it to the expenses. It should not be like that you are inflating your profits and you are not showing the real profits, right? Now, is it clear to everybody? Now, is it clear to everybody? Those who were asking previously, explain one more time. This is what your matching concept is, right? Very basic concept, but to explain this concept, we will bring some more examples so that your concept becomes extra clear, right? Now, price of 2 toys which were not sold shall not be recorded in this particular year. It will be shown as a closing stock and it be carried forward in the next year. Simple, right? Now, this is also one small thing which you should remember. Matching concept works in synchronization with accrual and with periodicity. Periodicity concept is journal. Like matching concept, I am always saying that we will carry it forward to the next year or it will happen in this year. So if this year and that year is happening, then definitely periodicity will come into the picture. And accrual is coming into the picture because we are recording on the day when the revenue has been recognized or on the day when the expenses are made. So this is just a kind of a fundamental thing which you should remember. So only 2 theorems you have to remember. First, we have remembered regarding revenue recognition and periodicity. These two works in sync. Next, you can remember that matching concept also works in synchronization with accrual and periodicity. Simple, everybody. Now we will be doing one numerical. Okay, clear? Can I move ahead? I hope yes. So let's move ahead. Now, read this particular question with me first of all. Mr. PK started a cloth business. Okay, he purchased 10,000 pieces of garment at 100 per piece. First of all, tell me his cost price of all the total order. Tell me the total cost of purchase. 10 lakh, 1,000 into 100. Simple. 10,000 into 100, not 1,000. 10,000 into 100 will be 10 lakh. And he sold 800 pieces at 150. So he is ordering 10,000 pieces, boss, but he is selling 800 pieces only. So tell me at which particular price you will recognize the revenue. Revenue will be recognized on 800 units or on 10,000 units. First, tell me this. Yes, 8,000 units. And what is 8,000 into 150? 12 lakhs, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, yes, 12 lakhs only. Clear? So in this case, let's try to move forward. This is the basic picture which we have seen till now, that we have the total cost of purchase, which is 10 lakhs, and the total sale which is happening in this particular case is 12 lakhs, right? Simple. Now, it is also said that during the accounting period of 12 months, so there was 12 months from 1st Jan to 31st December, he paid shop rent of 3,000 per month for 11 months only. But will I record the rent for 11 months or for 12 months? You only tell me. He has utilized the shop for 12 months, but he has paid the rent for only 11 months. So will I record for 11 or for 12? Definitely 12. It is possible, right, that he was not having some money for the 12 month. So he never paid for it. But the expense has become due. So he will record how much as an expense for rent. How much he will record as an expense for rent? 36,000, not 33,000. Clear, everybody? I hope it is. Now, okay, so there is further information which is already given. He paid 7 lakh to the suppliers of garment and received 10 lakh from the customers. He paid 7 lakh to the suppliers of garment. The total cost of purchase was what? 10 lakh. The total cost of purchase was 10 lakh. But he has only paid 7 lakh. He has only paid 7 lakh, right? And he was bound to receive 12 lakh from the customers, but currently he has only realized 10 lakh. Now comes the biggest story. Please listen to my questions carefully. When I am recognizing revenue, tell me what will I recognize? 12 lakhs or 10 lakhs? Tell me, what will I recognize? I will recognize my right. And what is the total right which has been arised? It is 12 lakh. So my revenue will be what? My revenue will be 12 lakh. Any issue in this particular case, my friend? Any issue? Now we have to calculate profit also. Tell me what will be the total cost of purchase in this particular case. Think and answer. Total cost of purchase. I am calculating profit. So in this case, you only tell me, chalo. Those who are saying 8 lakhs, or I will show this figures to you later. Think before you answer, think, thoda socho. I have to follow matching concept. In matching concept, I am only selling 8,000 units in this case. So why you are going with 10,000? You have to go for 8,000 only, right? So my total cost of purchase, if I have to calculate profit, it will be 8 lakh only. So from 12 lakh, I will deduct 8 lakh. And what will be the extra rent which will be deducted? It will be 36,000. So do this mathematics and you will get your profit. So there were 3 cases which I have to explain you, but I directly came to the most important thing. I will explain this one more time if it is not clear, don't worry. Yes. So if these 3 cases are in front of you, first one, second one, and the third one, what according to you is correct? You only tell me. What according to you is the correct one? You only tell me. The right will be the third one. Simply, my friends, what is the revenue recognized? 12 lakhs, right? This is the total revenue which I have recognized, right? And can somebody tell me that why I'm not going with 10 lakhs? Why I'm not going with 10 lakhs? This is just the cash, right? This is not your revenue recognized. Your revenue recognized is total 12 lakhs. I hope this is very much clear to all of you. Why we have taken cost of garments as 8 lakhs? Simply because you have to match the revenue with the expenses. So why you are saying 10 lakhs? Why you are saying 10 lakhs? Because 10 lakhs is on 10,000 pieces. I just have to take the cost price of 8,000 pieces. So 8,000 into 100 will be 8 lakh only. And rent of all the 12 months. Although he has paid the rent for 11 months, but I am not a dumb over here. I will follow the accrual concept, which says that you have to record the expense even if it becomes due. Right? So over here, my total rent will be 36,000. So the total profit in this place will be 3,64,000 only. Clear, everybody? All of you. It is the same story, but right now I have just complicated the case. And this is phase 2 level, not phase 1 level. Hello, everybody. How many students are sitting, by the way? 87. Is it clear to all of you? I need answers. If it is not clear, then we can discuss. But we are not recording the expenses for the unsold inventory when it is realized. Instead, we are carrying forward it to the next year. Yes. So how the matching concept works in sync with accrual concepts. Accrual concept, basically you will record the at which particular value you will record the closing inventory. You will record it at the same inventory, right? For example, in this particular case, my friend, 10,000 units you have purchased from the supplier, and you are only recording to calculate your profit and loss. You are only doing the transactions on 8,000 pieces. So 2,000 pieces will be kept in your closing inventory. Now this 2,000 will be kept at what particular price? At 100 only. So you are in this case also following accrual only. And for closing inventory, valuation of closing inventory, there is one more theorem which you will come to know later. Okay, everybody clear? Rent statement is vague. It is possible he might have left the shop. No, 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 no. It is clearly written that he has done the accounting for 12 months. So you have to take 12 months period only. Clear? Sir, it will be unsold always. As in like, yes, remaining 2000 pieces will be assets, which you can utilize once you have the time in the next year. Or if the time is left in this year also, you can sell it again. So, okay. Now, let's move forward to the next topic, which is solving multiple questions. Chalo, Mohan purchased goods of 15,000. What about 10 lakh? 10 lakh was the total cost of order, but we are only considering, I would say, 8,000 units, because to calculate real profit and loss, you have to check the revenue and expenses of that particular units of goods. चलिए, Mohan purchased goods for 15 lakh and sold 4/5 of the goods at 18 lakh. Met expenses amount 2,50,000 during 15. He was having a net profit of 3,50,000. Which concept was followed? See, sometimes you can also remember the elimination technique. Entity, periodicity never makes sense over here. So answer will be option number C. Simple, right? He has followed. Mohan purchased goods for 15 lakh, but he sold only 4/5 of it at 18,000. Met expenses amount 2,50,000 during the year of 2015. So he accounted the net profit as 3,50,000. So he is making the profit on the 4/5 of the goods sold only. So this is matching. Revenue from the sale of product is generally realized in which particular day or in which particular time? When sale is made. So answer will be option number B. Cool. Now try to solve this question as well. The determination of an expense for an accounting period. Determination of an expense for an accounting period is based on which particular principle? Determination of an accounting expense. Yes, simple expense. And how will you determine expense? Jara batana. How will you determine expense? How will you determine expense? Give me your answers in the chat box. Matching, yes, but how will you do it? I need answers. I need answers. Yes, it's basically you will recognize the expense on the accrual concept only when they are becoming due. Simple, whole expense will be recognized. But at the same end, if you have to calculate the real profit and loss, you have to keep in your mind that you have to match the revenues with expenses. Some part of expenses which is not met, that can be carried forward as well. Hello, understanding or not? Such batao. Okay, clear everybody? What about liability in calculating expense? Liability as in what? Cool. So let's move forward. So till now, if you see, we have covered the most of the lecture and the hard part is over now. So entity, money measurement, periodicity, revenue recognition, accrual and matching. Now we are coming to some easy concepts as well. सर जो अभी बताया प्लीज रिपीट अभी के लिए से मैंने आपको इतना बताया है दैट इफ यू आर डूइंग एन एक्सपेंस यू विल डू इट ऑन अक्रूवल बेसिस ओनली जैसे ही वो बकाया होता है आपको उसको रिकॉर्ड करना है whenever the expense becomes due you have to record it but to calculate real profit and loss my friend you have to always check the other side as well matching principle says that the revenue of one particular year should match to the expenses of that particular year if in one particular year I am selling 10,000 units, then the cost of 10,000 units will be compared to calculate the real profit and loss. If I'm selling 8,000 units, then the cost of 8,000 units will be taken. If I'm selling 2 units, then the cost of 2 units will be taken. Right? And some part which is not shown for profit and loss that can be carried forward for later as well. Simple. Okay. Now we are moving ahead to the next concept, which is going concern. Now tell me, can I say that Reliance will close their business in 5 years down the line? Or can I say that Reliance will close their business 10 years down the line? Or can I say that Reliance will close their business 15 years down the line? I cannot make that statement, right? But can I say that Reliance will somewhere in the future will definitely come at a point that they will have to close their business? राइट? इवन दिस स्टेटमेंट लुक्स वेग. कब करेगा? आपका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन यही होगा, रिलायंस क्लोज कब करेगा? सो रिलायंस विल नेवर क्लोज देयर बिजनेस because they will continue and continue. This is the concept of going concern. Going concern basically tells you what? That if you have started your business, you cannot predict that when you will end your business. You just have to keep on continuing and continuing. Simple. This is what the going concern basically means. It's like for the unforeseen future, I will continue my business for whatever time period it is. You cannot say that I am doing business for 5 years only. This is not allowed because once you start your business, you do it till perpetuity. करते ही रहना है. हाँ, अगर कोई सिचुएशन आई तो बंद करेंगे, but that will be decided on that particular situation only, not right now. Simple, right? So this is what your going concern principle is. The concept of going concern assumes that business firms would continue to carry their operations indefinitely. That means fairly wrong period, but you cannot say that till what particular period. Okay. Now let's take one particular case as well. For example, again the same story. Capital brought by the owner is 7 lakh. You have purchased machinery for 5 lakh 70,000 and cash is kept in your bank account for 1 lakh 30,000. Right? So this is the balance sheet. Can I say that this machinery will be sold after 5 years or after 3 years or after 1 year? No. Whenever the need will come, we will sell this machinery. But right now, when they are recorded, this is a classic example of balance sheet. Right? You cannot say this, right? You cannot say that I will sell my machinery after 8 years or after 10 years. That is not allowed. You will be utilizing the machinery till the time that particular machinery is working, right? It's like you will utilize the machinery in the healthy space only. It's not like कि आज बेचना था तो बेच दिया. Simple. And the overall, this is one of the fundamental principle. No business will avoid this because every business follows this particular principle. Okay. Now, moving forward to the next principle, which is cost concept. Now, if I tell you that I have purchased an iPhone, right? And this is a classic example. iPhone 17, let's take 50,000. Now, once you purchase iPhone, don't you purchase a charger? Charger itself is of 2,000. Once you purchase a charger, then the next need is of tempered glass, right? You purchase a tempered glass of 1,000. Then once the tempered glass is installed, you also go for a cover, right? So your total cost of purchase, let's take the cover at 2,000. So what will you tell me? What you will tell me? The total cost of purchase for an iPhone is 50,000 or is it 55,000? Batao. Will it be 50,000 or will be 55? Why you are saying 55? Why you are saying 55? Can you tell me? Because these are the expenses which were done on that particular day itself to purchase the iPhone. You can say that yes, product cost is 50,000, but to make sure this product remains healthy, to make sure this product uh, goes for a longer period of time, you have done certain expenses on it. So this will be included in the cost of purchase. This is what cost concept says to you, right? Let's move forward to understand about it. Cost concept requires that all the assets are recorded at the books of account at their purchase price, which includes cost of acquisition, transport, installation expenses, and other expenses which are required to make that particular asset ready to use. So if I'm purchasing machinery, let's say, right, the cost of the product is 50 lakh, but I have to pay 5 lakh to the transportation wala, then I have to pay another 2 lakh to the installation, then I have to pay certain amount of money to government also so that I can get the license. All of these things will be included in the cost of that particular asset, right? So this is what, my friend, cost concepts tells to you, right? Now, due to cost concept, there are some other terms which comes into the picture. Let's say that you purchase a machinery in 1990 at 5 crores. Now, definitely, let's say that this machinery is very, very important and the value of that particular machinery has appreciated throughout the years. And the present value of this machinery can be more or less. For example, if the machinery is valuable, then the value will increase. But sometimes the value can decrease also due to depreciation, right? Let's say land. You purchase some land. Land value always appreciate. I have never seen the land value going depreciating, right? So at present value, the value of this particular, I would say, machinery can be more or it can be less than 5 crore. But generally in the case of machine, if I'm not saying that this is a luxury machine or this is a kind of very important machine, we are generally saying that this is a machine, right? So generally with wear and tear, the machine value depreciates with the period of time, right? The value comes down, but it can increase also. When the machine is very, very valuable, it is like it is found only one time in one particular place of earth, right? Now, the cost concept says that you always have to record the value of machinery at the purchase price. The purchase price will remain the same for all years to come, though market value may change. Market value you will only consider once you are going to sell that particular machinery, isn't it? For example, if I have purchased a machinery of 5 crores, I will keep on recording this machinery in my balance sheet as a fixed asset for 5 crores only. But on the day, let's say after 6 years, I decided that this machinery is not working good for me, so let's sell it. In that case, the market value I will check that yes, this is the market value. I have to check so that I can get some profit from the sale of machinery, right? So please understand that if you are not selling, if your machinery is still working in the company, then you will record it at what particular price, at the purchase price itself. Okay. And yes, due to this, there is some hidden profit which arises in the balance sheet or in the company. How? You recorded the machine at 5 crores. Let's say that this machine is very, very rare and the prices of this machine has raised to 15 crore. So now you have a hidden profit, which is not realized yet. This is just hidden. Once you go to sell, then yes, you will get the profit. But currently this is hidden. Sometimes the value may increase over the period of time, specifically for land, but we will record at the old value leading to the hidden profits, which are not shown in any financial statements. Hidden profit means what? That this profit is not yet realized. It is still there in our books. Simple, right, my friends? This is what your cost concept tells to you. All of you, please let me know your answers in the chat. All of you, clear? Right. Now let's move forward in the class to another concept. Cool. So this completes our cost. Now comes a very interesting concept, which is dual concept. Is there any hidden cost? It can be. It can be, but that will come when you, I would say what, the value comes very, very lower, right? When the value comes very, very lower, in that case, there can be a hidden cost or it can be a hidden loss also. Okay. Now we are moving to dual concept. Dual concept is one of the very, very important principle. It basically says that whenever you are doing an economic transaction, whenever, whatever entry, whatever recording you are doing, it will affect two accounts. It will affect how many accounts? Two accounts at least. This is also known as double entry principle. Okay. Now let's try to move ahead. First of all, let's say that you started a business, or let's say Mr. X started a business. So he started a business with 7 lakh. Business kept the same as entire cash in hand. Okay. And yes, how will you recognize that this cash is in hands or is it in the banks? It is specifically said that if this cash is in bank, they will write bank balance. They will write cash in bank. If they are not mentioning anything, that it means, then it means that this cash is in your pockets. Your pockets as in like tijoris mein rakha hua hai. It is kept in the safe custody. Okay. Now see, currently nobody will talk about debit and credit. That we will understand in the tomorrow's morning class. Simple. Now, let's come back to the topic. Once the transaction happened, what is the transaction in this case? Mr. X contributed some capital in the company, right? So this is a transaction. Which transaction? Economic event. So I will do the recording. What is the value? 7 lakh. So what are the two accounts which are getting affected? First account is the capital account and the second account is the cash account, right? Now, what is an account? Account is basically a kind of a picture which tells you the story of one particular item, right? So you have what? Cash account. Cash account will show you the entire picture of cash. Capital account will show you the entire picture of capital. Purchases account will show you the entire picture of purchases. Sales account will show you the entire picture of sales. Salary account will show you the entire picture of salary. Rent account will show you the rent performance, right? So for every item, we maintain an account. For every item, whether it's cash, whether it's commission, whether it's multiple different things, right? So once owner is bringing the capital, capital account will be affected and we are keeping this particular capital as cash. So cash is getting affected. So these are the two accounts which are being affected. Simple, right? Now let's continue the story. Mr. X started the business with 7 lakh, right? with which he purchased machinery for 5 lakh and kept the balance in cash in hand. So in this case, if I have to draw that balance sheet again, on the capital side, what value will come? You only tell me. I'm not showing you the picture. Let's try to draw it in our mind. Let's try to draw it in the mind. What is the total value of the capital? 7 lakh only. What is the capital value? 7 lakh only, isn't it? Now, from this particular capital, I am purchasing a machine also. So machine is an asset. So machine I will write over here. Machine of rupees 5 lakh, right? Machine of rupees 5 lakh and the rest will be shown to you as cash. Isn't it? Isn't it? So in this particular case, first of all, we have to identify the transaction. First transaction is clear. What is the first transaction which happened over here? That Mr. X contributed some capital. Mr. X contributed some capital. So when the first transaction was happening, your capital account was affected and then your cash account was affected. Second transaction is that from the capital which was invested by Mr. X, I have purchased certain machine. So in this case, can I say that machine account will be affected? Can I say that the machine account will be affected? Hello. So I'm just writing machine over here that yes, machine account will be affected. What will be the other account which will be affected? Tell me. What will be the other account? Yes, cash account. Because the cash which was lying with me from 7 lakh cash, now I am utilizing 5 lakh. 2 lakh is still left. So that cash account will also be affected. So if you see the story, now you have cash account and machinery account getting affected. Can I say that capital account is affected in the second transaction? In the second transaction, was capital affected? No. Why? Because capital was just a liability and it is still there. But if you go on the asset side, the hera-fairy has happened. The changes have happened. Right? Let's move forward. Or let me bring you another story of this case. If I say that I have taken a loan from the bank, I have taken a loan and try to relate. अगर मैंने loan लिया है, so first of all, loan account will be affected. Loan account will be affected. Loan will be shown in which particular side? Liability or asset? Loan will be showed on which particular side? Liability only. So I will write over here loan. Now, whatever amount of loan, let's say 1 lakh rupees का मैंने loan लिया है. Now tell me what will be the other account which will be affected? What will be the other account which will be affected? Cash. Very good. Why? Because I have taken a loan, right? So money is coming to me. So now my cash will increase to what? 3 lakh. My cash will increase to 2 plus 1, 3 lakh. Again, the total of balance sheet will come out as same only. So if I go to transaction number 2, wherein I was taking machine from the cash. So again, there was two account getting affected, which was cash and machine. Let's move forward. Now, in this particular case, I'm just adding the transactions. So first transaction was what? Mr. X started the business with 7 lakh. He purchased machinery for 5 lakh from the cash which was available and maintains balance in hand. Then he took loan of 2 lakhs and bought the truck. He took the loan of 2 lakhs and he bought the truck. So in this case, can I say the liability side will be affected because of loan? Can I say that the liability side will be affected because of loan? In the asset side, what will be affected? In the asset side, what will be affected? Yes, truck, or you can say machine account. If you are considering truck as a machine, then you will add the value of truck in machine, which is not correct. Why? Because machine is different, truck is a vehicle, right? So you will open a truck account. Simple, right? But yes, some people include truck in machine, which is incorrect according to me. But still, if you do it, your balance sheet will still matter. Your balance sheet will still match. But right now, for the simplicity, you have to remember machine is different and a truck is different. Machine is an asset, truck is also an asset, but their use cases are different. Truck is for mobility, machine is for production, right? So in this case also you have your, I would say what, two accounts getting impacted. So because of this dual entity concept, or sorry, dual entry concept, always, whenever any transaction takes place, by transaction, I mean the economic event, whenever it takes place, you will see two accounts getting impacted. Simple. You take any transaction. For example, if I'm paying salary to employees. So tell me the two accounts which will be getting impacted over here. If I'm paying salary to my employees, what will be the first account which will be impacted in this particular case? Cash. Simple, because I'm paying salary from the cash balance. What will be the next account which will be getting impacted? Salary. Simple, right? And once you move forward, like tomorrow's two classes, we will understand the recording part. We will see that how this debit and credit works. But remember, debit and credit comes out from dual expect only. Now, what is this debit and credit? Debit and credit is a kind of a way via which you record your transactions. Simple. It's like a grammar rule for accounting, which I will explain you tomorrow. But one account will be debited, another account will be credited. One account is credited, another account is debited. So it will be like this only. And it is coming from dual expect only. Right now, we are just choosing an account. For example, if I'm taking a loan to purchase a truck, these are the two accounts which are impacted, right? But which one will be debited, which one will be credited? That's the story which we will understand tomorrow, right? Every transactions will happen to impact. Simple. That's the story over here. Now, moving forward, over here also two accounts are getting impacted, which we have already seen. Now, in all the cases, my friend, which we have seen so far, remember that your assets will be is equals to liabilities plus capital. Now, capital is considered over here separately. We all know that capital is not that true liability. It is just a liability because of entity concept. But on liabilities, I pay interest also, which is not in the case of capital. Right? On liabilities, I pay a certain amount of interest. But do I pay any interest on capital? No. So I always keeps my capital different from liability. But at the same end, I should also know that why capital falls in the heading of liability. Hello, are you able to understand that at the same time they are contradicting each other? I am saying that capital is a liability, but at the same time, I am also saying that there is a difference, right? So if you see over here, my friend, at all the transactions, whatever transactions you do, assets will be equals to liabilities plus capital. You can do the total. And therefore, this is also known as your, like, tell me, assets and liabilities will be shown in which financial statement? Balance sheet. Therefore, we call this as balance sheet equation also. Balance sheet equation means what? Assets is equals to liabilities plus capital. So this, if your this thing is working, it basically means that your accounting information is error free. If your assets are more and less than capital plus liabilities, then it means that you have done an error. Those who are coming from 12th class commerce and accounts, right? There were like in the board's paper, if your balance sheet matches, like assets is equals to liabilities and capital, that was the most joyful moment for all of us. Why? Because our accounting is good now. But the moment your balance sheet is not matching, that is totally an horrible moment, and your board paper will collapse. Right? So this is what you have to understand when it comes to the dual concept. So balance sheet always matches. If it is not matching, then you are not a good accountant. Hello, everybody. What if we buy truck through cash account? Do it. Do it. Your cash balance will reduce, your truck balance will increase. In this case, also, you will see your balance sheet will match. Your balance sheet will always match. There is no condition in which balance sheet will not match, right? Moving forward. Now, see, this is a kind of a situation which I will not advise you to mug up. Rather, you have to understand it with the practical way. For example, various scenarios which can happen in balance sheet. First, two different assets will get increased or decreased by the same amount. Overall assets remain the same. For example, you can see this particular case number one. Now, if two assets are getting impacted. For example, you have bought machinery, right? You have bought machinery from the cash. So cash was previously 7 lakh, but because of purchasing of machinery, cash balance has reduced to 2 lakh and machinery balance has increased to 5 lakh. In this case also, your balance will match of assets and liabilities. Okay, cool. Two different liabilities getting increase or decrease. One asset and one liability is increased by the same amount or both decreased by the same amount. You should not just remember this. This is practical example. Okay, so what you have to do is once the class is over, once the class is over, I will advise you to read this particular slide. To read this particular slide. There is no need to mug up, right? And I have given you like this is case number one. You will understand it because I have just told you about this case that this was nothing. This was a transaction number two. This was a transaction number two. Transaction number one was what? That capital has been brought in by the owner of that particular business, right? And there can be multiple things which are happening. Simple. Like this is your multiple cases and you have to do it in your homework. So this is the homework which I'm giving to you. Will all of you do it? Will all of you do it? Cool. Right? Let's move forward now to understand certain more cases about dual expect. Sometimes a combined transaction can also happen. Combined transaction means what? That your assets and liabilities and multiple accounts are getting impacted. Let's see how. So you have this balance sheet with you. You have this balance sheet. Capital by the owner is 7 lakh. A loan has been taken for rupees 2 lakh. Cash maintained at 2 lakh. Machinery is of 5 lakh. And truck is of again 2 lakh. So balance sheet is matching 9 lakh on each side. Now, the business buys the land of 5 lakh. The business buys the land of 5 lakh. 1 lakh is paid in cash and rest is financed through loan. Business is going for another purchase of 5 lakh. So if I'm buying a land of 5 lakh, tell me, will my land account will be impacted? Yes. Where it will be shown? Where it will be shown? Asset or liability? Where it will be shown? It will be definitely be shown on the asset side. So I will write land over here, worth of 5 lakh. The transaction further continues. 1 lakh is paid in cash. So will it impact my cash account? Will it impact my cash account? The answer is yes. So my balance was previously 2 lakh. Now it will further be reduced to 1 lakh. And rest is financed through loan. Rest is financed through loan means what? The balance of 4 lakh ke liye I have taken a loan. Right? So 4 lakh will be added on the loan of the side. On the liability side, I mean. So in this case, only one liability is getting impacted, which is loan. But at the same time, two assets account are getting affected. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to mug up this thing that how this will happen and how this will happen. You have to remember these steps. First, they will give you a kind of a picture, a scenario. Then they will give you a transaction. And then they will ask you what will happen, dude. Will it increase or will it decrease? Right? And this is where your homework is. You have to remember that this is the only three cases which we have discussed. Right? And from these three cases, we have just drawn out the four conclusions. Simple. Right? Or three conclusions, not four. This is extra conclusion which we have solved in the class itself. Again, do the total. Do the total at each side. This will come at same only. 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 4, 13. Do the total on asset side also. 13 again. So balance sheet will always match. Simple. Okay. Now moving forward to some MCQs. Chalo. Now let's move forward to some MCQs. A purchased a car for 5 lakh, making a down payment of 1 lakh and signing a 4 lakh bill payable in 60 days. Bill payable is 60 days is not a long-term liability, is a current liability. As a result of this transaction, assets will increase by 5 lakh, total liabilities increase by 4 lakh, total assets increase by 4 lakh and corresponding liabilities increase by 4 lakh. What will be your answer? I'm looking for answers for question number 1. I'm looking for answers for question number 1. If you do not reply to this, then you are wasting your time, my friends. Yes, the answer will be option number C, because your assets will increase by the value of 5 lakh, but you are making a cash payment. So that will result into net 4. Why? Because car will come for 5, but your cash balance will go, right? 1 lakh. So 5 minus 4, 4 lakh will be shown on the asset side, but your total liabilities will increase by 4 lakh, right? So this completes our question number 1. Next question is capital bought in by the proprietor. Proprietor is nothing. Proprietor is basically the owner only. Now there is one more term which you have to understand, promoter. This also I will explain. If a capital is bought in by proprietor, is an example of what? A capital आया तो cash भी आया होगा. And yes, in the morning class, is it compulsory that the owner will bring capital in cash only? Is it compulsory that the owner will bring capital in cash? No, he can bring in asset also, a different kind of asset like car, right? Or he can give a huge monetary value asset kind of stuff, right? So in this case, also the same thing will happen. For example, let's say owner has contributed the land of 7 lakh as a capital. So what will happen then? What will happen? Again, draw the same balance sheet, right? Draw the same balance sheet, your liabilities and your assets. In the asset sides, will I write? In the asset sides, will I write cash over here? In the asset side, will I write cash now? No, I will write land, right? And in this case, I will write capital. So capital is 7 lakh, land is 7 lakh. So if owner is bringing, both things will increase. Therefore, your answer of this particular question will be option number A. Cool, everybody, all of you. Now, I was explaining you the difference between proprietor and the promoter. See, if you talk about Reliance, I am currently the owner of some amount of shares, but I cannot call myself as a promoter of Reliance. Understand this thing very carefully. Once you purchase the shares of the company, yes, you become the owner of the company also. Limited to the number of shares which you have purchased. Let's say that I have purchased 10,000 shares of Reliance. Okay. So I am the owner of Reliance up to 10,000 shares, up to 10,000 shares, but I will never call myself as a promoter. Promoters are those people who have initially started the company. For example, in the case of Reliance, who will be the promoter? Mr. Dhirubhai Maniji, right? So he was the promoter. But later on, when Reliance was doing good, multiple people invested in Reliance, purchased the shares. So they became the owner, but they will never be called as a promoter. A promoter is that particular person who starts the business, right? Who starts the business from scratch. For example, in Oyo, who you think a promoter will be? Ritesh only, right? For Lenskart, who will be a promoter? In Lenskart, who will be a promoter? Mr. Piyush Bansal only, right? But if today, let's say Lenskart is available on the stock market, let's say, I know it is not available, but let's say it is available. So I will go and purchase the shares of Piyush company and I will call myself the owner. But indeed, I am an owner, but not a promoter. Proprietor is basically a term which you use for owner, you use for owner, or it is basically a term which you basically use for a sole proprietor. Sole proprietor is what? Sole proprietor is basically a kind of a business wherein only one person controls the everything. Simple. But right now you just have to remember, owner is different, promoter is different. Okay. But if he exits but if he exits like Uber owner exited, then who will be a promoter? Promoter will definitely be that particular person who starts the business. If he sells the business to some other person, he will still be called as an owner only. Promoter is always the word which we use for starting the business. Okay. Yes, sir. Sir, can you please explain this car example by drawing balance sheet? Car example, which car example I shown to you? Land example I have showed, yes. First question. Okay, first question. Right. Cool. So if you again draw the balance sheet, and yes, always remember in accounts, whenever you have the confusion, the best thing is journal entries. Journal entries are like AK-47 in accounts. Whenever you are confused, draw the journal entries. Okay, but if journal entries are not possible, right now it is not possible. Therefore, I'm showing you this balance sheet. A purchased a car for 5 lakh, making a down payment of rupees 1 lakh and signing a loan of 4 lakh. So this basically means that he has taken a kind of a bill payable. Bill payable is a kind of a short-term loan only, which you have to pay in less than a year. So my bill payable will come over here as 4 lakh. Okay, my bill payable will come over here as 4 lakh, right? And if you see, he has purchased a car. So car value will come over here as 5 lakh, right? Making a down payment of rupees 1 lakh. So whatever the cash balance was, it will reduce by 1 lakh. So let's say that my cash balance over here was X rupees. Now you just have to deduct 1 lakh from X. So in net, if you see, if you see, you increase your car balance by 5 lakh and your cash balance has reduced by 1 lakh. So on the asset side, your total increase will be of 4 lakh only. 5 lakh plus 1 lakh minus. What will be the net increase on the asset side? 4 lakh only. And on the liability side, again 4 lakh because you have taken a bill payable. So definitely you have done what? A kind of an same thing that it will affect two accounts. Now let's move to the next question. Assets are held in business. Assets are held in business for the purpose of what? Assets are held in business for the purpose of what? Assets are held in business for the purpose of what? Yes, they are held for earning revenue only. Simple. Next question. If an individual asset increases, if an individual asset in increase, will there will be a corresponding what? This is a good question which you should try to answer. If the individual asset has increased, so asset has increased, right? Now you would have increased this particular asset either through financing or either through cash only, right? Decrease in other asset. What will be the other asset decrease in this case? What will be the decrease in other asset in this case? Cash only. Cash has reduced, and or you would have taken some loan. or you would have taken some loan. So the answer will be option number B. Hello, understanding or not? Yes, very good. Decrease in cash and increase in liability. So if you understand this thing, then your concept of double entry is very much clear to all of you. Okay. Who is the owner? Owner is the person who holds shares of the company. Owner is the person who holds shares of the company. Promoter is the person who starts the company, right? Simple. So answer over here will be option number B. Why not C? Decrease in specific liability or decrease in capital. Decrease in specific liability. How will you make a statement in this case? Think about it. Give me certain case and then we will debate about it. Okay, socho. Now, now we have this particular MCQ. Try to understand and try to answer it fatafat. Okay, what is the time? It's already 2 hours, so try to answer it. Promoters and founders, yes, to an extent, yes. Chalo, now try to answer this question. Consider the following data pertaining to Alpha Limited. Cost of machinery 10 lakh, installation charges 1 lakh, market value as on the date is 12 lakh. While finalizing final accounts, the company recorded at 12 lakh. So answer will be cost accounting only, because you are finalizing or you are taking cost of the product. At the same time, you are adding some expenses also to make sure that you record the machine at the correct price. Simple. Purchase of machinery for cash. Now they will ask you questions like this only in the exam. If we purchase machinery for cash, what will happen? And this is phase one. But they have asked you one question in phase two also in 2024, which I will let you know. Purchase of machinery for cash. So machinery account increase, cash account decrease, which will result into what? Unchanged. Why? Because machinery increased, cash decrease, right? So nothing will happen on the liability side. Hello, everybody, connected or not? All of you, write yes or no in the chat. All clear till now? And by the way, how many of you are reading account for the very first time? Some I know are from commerce also. So everything going clear for you till now? Please explain the previous question. Okay, Kapil. Chalo, everything going clear? Cool. Now, previous question was related to this, my friend. In cost account, I told you, right? In cost account, in cost principle, I told you that you have to record the cost of the asset by adding all the expenditures which you are doing. So whenever the cost of product is taken, we add certain expenses to it also, like installation expense, the transportation cost, and everything. So if you are recording at 12 lakhs and not at, I would say, and not at 11 lakhs or 10 lakhs, then you are following the cost concepts only, right? So this is where your answer will be. And if you see in this case, at what particular price the company should record the value in the books of account. In this particular case, what should be the true value of machinery to be recorded? Yes, 11 lakhs, right? Cost of product plus your installation, right? Moving forward. Chalo. Now we have discussed cost, dual concept. Now we are doing some basic concepts which are very, very easy, like full disclosure. Full disclosure basically means full transparency. You will not hide any relevant information from me. You will not hide any material information from me. Material information means important information. For example, if you have purchased a samosa in your company for an office party, if you don't disclose it, chalega, because that is just a 20 rupee thing. That will not create a loss of crores and lakhs of rupees. But if you are purchasing a samosa for lakhs of rupees, then you have to disclose it to me. Disclose it to me because I am the interested user. Interested user as in like customer, right? So whatever is relevant and material to the company, you have to disclose all the facts to the interested users, whether they are internal or external. This is what full disclosure is. Any problem? Hello. Any problem over here that what is full disclosure? Clear? Now let's move to the consistency. Consistency basically says that you have to follow the same principle over and over and above. For example, there is one concept in accounting which says depreciation. Depreciation basically means what? Wear and tear of one particular asset. For example, this is iPhone 11 in my hands. Now I purchased this particular phone for 45,000 rupees for 256 GB, right? And this is about 2021. I still have this particular phone working perfectly for me, right? Although for every year I have to use some 1,000, 1,500 rupees for its maintenance, but it is still giving me much use case. But today, can I say that this phone is more valuable than 45,000? Can I say that this phone is more valuable to me? No, right? The value of this particular phone will fall because of depreciation. Depreciation basically means gradual decrease in the value of your asset over a period of time. So if you purchase a car today, after 10 years, the value of that particular car will decrease. Therefore, you would have heard about this particular saying that car is a depreciating asset. Now, to apply depreciation, ki price kitna kam hoga ek asset ka? How will you calculate it? How will you understand the value of the depreciation? Right? So there are multiple methods: straight line, WDV, units methods, and multiple more, right? Which you will understand once we move ahead in this particular course. But if you are using straight line method, if you are using written down method, use it, use it, use it. Don't change in between, because the moment you change in between, the consistency principle will be broken. Understanding or not? So consistency means what? That you have to keep on repeating the same thing, and same thing. Simple, nothing more to explain. Moving forward to the next question. Chalo. Kanika Enterprises follows written down value method for depreciating machinery year after year due to consistency, right? Very easy question. Now we are moving to conservatism principle. This is also very, very foundational principle of, I would say, accounts. Now tell me, my friends, if you are making accounts, if you are making accounts, if you have to show the real picture, if you have to show the real picture, what you will choose? Inflated figures, or you will choose a safer figure, which is like safer to show? If you have to make your accounts, which particular picture you will choose? Safer only. So conservatism principle basically tells you that always play safe. Once you go into the state of overconfidence, you will overinflate your figures in accounts, which you'd never have to do. Some conservatism principles are also known as prudence. Prudence principle also means the same. Conservatism principle. Conservatism or your prudence principle basically says that you do not have to show off. Just show the right picture. Just show the basic picture which you have. For example, if I just show you the theoretical part first. This particular principle basically is also known as principle of prudence, which I have told you, and it means to play safe. Safe कैसे खेलेंगे? It's not like that you will go with the helmet or you will go with all the precautionary steps. You will rather follow some basic rules. For example, losses should be recognized immediately, and not recognizing the gains until the realize until you, it is until it is realized. For example, if I think that after 10 months I can have a loss of this and this figure, so I will create a provision today only. I will try to recognize that particular loss today only. Although this is going against the principle of accrual, but still you want to play safe, right? कि आने वाले समय में I think I can have a loss of rupees 80,000. So let's try to save certain money. Let's try to keep that particular money in some buffer account, which we call it as provision. So let's try to save that money for of that particular loss. And tell me, this is a normal human being also do this. If you think a loss will come into the future, you save your money in the savings bank account, isn't it? So if you see, my friend, that in your conservatism principle, you try to make sure that you play safe. If I say, my friends, that after 10 months, I will have a jackpot for rupees 1 lakh, I will surely have it. Do I need to play safe for it? Tell me, do I need to play safe for it? No, right? If it will happen, it will happen. It is very good for me if it will happen. एक jackpot मिलेगा 10 crore रुपए का, so मिलेगा. I do not have to make provisions for it right now. I do not have to do the buffering of that particular amount right now. So you protect yourself from the losses and not from the anticipated profits. Now, if you see, when there are alternative methods of valuing an asset, for example, how will you value land? How will you value machine? There are like, how will you value goodwill? This was a question in the class 1 also, which we have, which happened today. So there are multiple ways to measure goodwill, but you will choose that particular method only, which will give you the less value. because this is the minimum value which I will definitely have for my goodwill. Yes, I can choose the maximum one also, but that will be over optimism, which you have to avoid. So likewise, in the concept of prudence, you try to make sure that you show the real picture by playing safe. The concept states that conscious approach should be adopted in asserting incomes so that profits of the enterprises are not overstated. As simple as that. Okay. Is it just to anticipate the losses or just worse situation? Yes, it is very much just. It is very much justified because you want to play safe. So for example, if a loss I think will happen 10 years down the line, I will still try to plan it from today only so that I can avoid that particular loss. Simple, right? Now, why enterprise overinflate the figures? Simply because this is Kali Yuga, my friend. Because if you show the higher figures, that will earn higher confidence from the investors. For example, the true profit of Reliance is 10 lakhs. The true profit of Reliance is 10 lakhs, right? And the Reliance is showing you the profits of 50 lakhs. Okay, another company is there which is showing you the profit of 100 lakhs. So you will say that yes, yeah, Reliance is 50 lakhs and the other company is having 100 lakhs. So I will invest my money in 100 lakhs. But both these cases are not true. These are just your, I would say what? These are just your hyper inflated figures. The real value comes from 10 lakhs only, right? But it will lead to higher tax liability. Yes, it will lead to, but even after paying higher tax, you will still have a higher profit after tax, right? If you pay 10% on 10 lakhs and if you pay 10% on 10 lakhs, what will be the after amount? It will be higher in the case of 100 lakhs only, right? Is it done to avoid taxes? Maybe, or is it not done to the, it can be like anything. We do not have to go in those situations because that will just open up the lecture. Right now, let's complete it. So we have discussed about conservatism also. Now we are discussing regarding objectivity and materialism. Material concept basically says anything which is relevant and anything which makes like measurable in big size that has to be recorded, right? Please explain the second point. Second point, what second point over here? Can you please tell me what second point? But sir, overpricing may impact accounts in long run. How long run? You have to show the profit in every 3 months. So how it will be long run? You have to make your, I would say, profit and loss account in every 3 months. So how long run you are saying? Losses wala. Losses should be recognized immediately, but the gain should be realized until and unless they are realized. This basically means if you are anticipating some loss to happen in future, you will try to make sure that you play safe today only. You will try to protect your business from that particular loss by making some buffer account or by keeping some buffer in your system so that if the loss happen, you can pull the money from the buffer and settle that particular loss, right? But if the profit is happening, then it's a good case. So let profit happen after 8 years. I will realize that profit. So that particular concept is being followed. Just if I have to make this very much clear to all of you, for example, why while riding, why you all wear a helmet? Why you all wear an helmet? Tell me why you all, like those who are riding bikes also, you have your jackets, you have your elbows protector, leg protectors and whatnot. So you are trying to take a precaution, right? So that you can be safe. You are following principle of prudence only, right? But tell me, once you are riding a bicycle with your dad and mom holding you and there is no traffic on the road, will you take precautions then also? No, right? It's like safer situation. My dad is there, my mom is there to protect me. There is no traffic, so nobody will hurt me. But if I'm riding a bike alone, in that case, I have to take some safety arrangements. So this is where the point number two is telling to you. If there is any risk, play safe. Do not try to overshow off. But if there is like everything is clear, everything is settled, then just try to wait for it. Like आना होगा तो आएगा, as simple as that. Okay. Now, materiality concept. Materiality concept, this is the next principle which we are moving ahead. Now, if that particular information has a higher amount involved, then definitely I will have to show that particular information under the principle of full disclosure, isn't it? For example, if I'm ordering one samosa for me, that is rupees 20 only. That is rupee 20. So even if I don't show that rupees 20 in my, I would say what, profit and loss account, it is still good to go. 20 rupees will not make that much of difference. But if I talk about 2 crores, 2 lakhs, 50 lakhs, that particular amount has to be shown, right? So there is one particular first word which you have to remember, amount involved and the nature. If the nature of that particular transaction is important, you will have to show it. Otherwise, if it's not important, then don't show it. For example, money spent on the creation of additional capacity of theater would be material fact because you have invested some money to increase the additional capacity, right? So this will definitely earn you more revenue in the future, right? So this will be shown. Information about huge expenditure on training is again a material fact. And how will you decide the material fact? By understanding the nature of it. For example, if you have given rupees 10, if you have given a promotion to your employee and the amount involved is very, very less, will this be recorded in your, I would say what? Will this be recorded in the books of account? Tell me. Will this be recorded in the books of account if rupees 10 ka promotion has been given? No, right? Because the amount involved is very, very less. And promotion, you give it to everybody. So it's not that much relevant also. But yes, if I say that I have given a promotion from lower level to the CEO level and the salary package has increased 10 times, that thing will definitely impact your business. So you will have to impact your salary account. So that thing will be shown in full disclosure component, right? Moving forward to the last principle, which is objectivity. Objectivity principle basically says verify. Verifiability, I hope you remember the characteristics. The objectivity concept basically says that if you are doing accounting and if I ask for proof, then you have to be ready to show it. This is what your objectivity principle says to you. It should be free from bias. It should be free from any errors. Hello, everybody, connected or not? Hello, everybody, connected or not? All of you, all of you. Yes. So this completes our overall lecture, but there are some more questions which we have to solve. So stay there for 5 to 10 more minutes and then we will wind up. Chalo, try to answer this question. A businessman purchased goods of 25 lakh and sold 80% of such goods during the accounting year ended 31st March 2017. The market value of remaining goods were 4 lakh. He valued the inventory at a close. He valued the closing inventory at cost. Which particular concept he violated? Tell me. Yes. Some people are giving the right answer. Think. I'm not in the state of hurry. A businessman purchased goods of 25 lakh and he sold 80% of such goods during the accounting period ending 31st March 2017. The market value, sorry. The market value of the remaining goods were 4 lakh. Yes, the answer will be conservatism. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why? Because I want to check that you know the reason or not. Otherwise, it's like you are just copy pasting from the somebody else's answer. Yes, 1 lakh extra. Very good. 80% of 25 lakh will be what? 85, 20, 80% of 25 lakh will be what? Hello, right, 20 lakhs. But you are using this particular value at 4 lakh only, right? So the answer over here will be conservatism. Second, the concept of conservatism will be applied in the applied to the balance sheet results in when you do. What will be the answer for second one? The concept or conservatism when applied to balance sheet results in what? Overstatement of capital, understatement. So answer will be option number A. Then see, my friends, till now we have discussed a lot of principles, right? Till now we have discussed a lot of principles. But if you see in this particular case, three very basic fundamentals which have to be followed by every business. That is going concern, consistency, and accrual. Every business which is working in India has to follow these principles, no matter how big principle you are using, or no matter how big, I would say, what business you are running. Okay, so going concern, consistency, and accrual. This has to be followed at all cases. Rest all, like for example, entity, money measurement, periodicity, accrual, except accrual, right? Matching, going concern, cost, dual, expect, everything else. That if you see, you have liberty over here. Like you can use it or you cannot use it, right? So if you see, my friend, three principles are fundamental. What are those three principles? Going concern, consistency, and accrual. These has to be followed. Going concern, even Reliance will follow it, and some other small organization will also follow it, right? Consistency will also be followed. Accrual will also be followed, right? But if you see, my friend, for your other principles which you have, like you have some liberty to tweak certain things. But if you see all these principles, if it is a good company, if it is a good company, then everybody will follow these principles. But sometimes some companies are not that much good. Sometimes some companies are not that much good. So in that particular case, some companies will not follow the concept of cost, like what happened over here, right? What happened over here? The value should be recorded at 4 lakhs. Okay, the market value was 4 lakh, but he valued the inventory at cost, which was 5 lakh, which was remaining. So he was not following the principle of conservatism. So instead, it happens. Some companies overestimate the number, some companies underestimate the numbers, right? But every company which is working will follow on these three principles. I will request you, or I will provide you a link. One company came on Shark Tank. I don't remember its full name, but it was related to some business problem that they have invented some POS machine and they were not following the accrual concept. They were following the cash concept. And now you will ask me, sir, what is cash concept? Cash concept is basically you are doing accounting based on cash. Like in accrual, what we do is we try to make the accounts when the revenue is realized and when the obligation is realized on the case of expenses, right? But that particular company was following cash accounting. Cash accounting means what? That they were not following the accrual. The people who were sitting in the Shark Tank, they recognize it immediately that you are not following accrual concept. They were not following the accrual concept. So they directly said that we will not invest your money. We will not invest your money in your company. Go back and ask your chartered accountants to switch from cash to accrual. Right. And I don't remember the exact name, but there was one company wherein there were three founders. Okay. I will share the link if possible tomorrow. Cool. Uh, yes, Ezort company. Okay. Like I'm not sure, but yes, it was related to some POS machine. Okay, yes. Many people are writing ISO only. So yes, it's like the founders of that particular company were from Maharashtra. This I know because they were speaking Marathi. Give me 1 minute. I will just check on YouTube only. Just give me 1 minute. Some people are writing ISO, right? Just give me a minute because that will help you a lot. ISO Shark Tank. You also do it. Just a minute, I'm playing my episode. Yes, yes, it's EZO only. EZO, thank you so much. And the founders of this particular company were from Maharashtra only, if I'm not wrong. So see their case, you will learn that how they were not following accrual and they were following cash. Okay, so this completes our overall class. Now I will request you to please come on the concepts of solving previous year questions. Chalo, question number 1 for PFRD grade A phase 2. Right now answer this question, which is coming on your screen. Chalo, everybody try to answer this question now. There are multiple doubts. Uh, I think your doubt is addressed now, Salma. Thank you, Jayesh, Kapil, everybody else who helped me. Yes, all these are known as gaps if I combine all the principles. What was full disclosure? Full disclosure is basically like you are disclosing everything which is material and relevant for that particular economic event. Yogita, please write your answer one time only. There is no need to write multiple times. Chalo, there are multiple accounting principles and concepts. which goes in hands, uniformity. Now, if you are following an accounting principle which is passing adjustment entries in the books of account, and further says that revenue and expense incurred to earn these revenue must be belonging to the same accounting period. This is your which particular principle? Hello, matching principle. Very good. And this is PFRD grade A phase 2 level question. Okay. So I hope you got some confidence over here. Next two questions I have on my screen are from IFSC grade A. Chalo, try to answer this question. Which accounting concept guides that the firm shows expenses and income on the accounting period at the same time? Which accounting concepts guide that the firm shows expenses and income? This is also matching. So answer will be option number C. Under which accounting concept should an asset be valued at a lower of net realizable value or fair value? So if you are recording at a lower value, that will come from prudence only. And see, till now I have not tell you that what is net realizable value or fair value, right? I have not told to you about this. But still, if you apply your brain, entity concept says what? That business is different, owner is different. So which is not in this case, right? Question number 2 is not about this. So remove it. Matching concept is about expenses and your revenue to calculate the true profit, which is again not followed in this case. Accrual says that when your expenses and your revenue is realized, then only you have to record it, which is again not in this case. So even if you eliminate, you will come at option number A only. Okay, but in your accounting standards for inventory, you will understand this particular line as well. Don't worry. Chalo, which of the as the following items are classified as a fundamental? Which of the following is a fundamental over here? Which of the following is a fundamental going concern? With going concern, you also have to remember other two, which is your consistency and your accrual one. Do remember these. These are important, right? Moving forward to the next. Okay, so we have two more questions, then we will wind up. Which of the following statement defines going concern? This is SEBI Grade A Phase 2. This is SEBI Grade A Phase 2. Which of the following statement defines going concern? Yes, the answer will be option number B. Very good. Very good. Because you continue to operate it business for unforeseeable future. In an organization, being conservatism while preparing profit and loss account, which account is followed? Again, SEBI Grade A Phase 2. Prudence will be the correct answer. So answer will be A. Now, one more question, my friends, before I end. Everybody ready? And this is the toughest question to answer. And I need responses from all the 86 brilliant minds who are sitting. Hello, everybody. Can I ask you this question? Ready? Are you all feeling like tiny confident for commerce and accounts yet? Are you now feeling tiny confident for commerce and account now? Although there is big story to come, but this is like 10% of commerce and accounts completed. Okay. But got confused in accrual and matching. Don't worry, just go and back and revise. Okay. Please explain going concern. Samriddhi, going concern basically means that you will just continue your business for the multiple years to come. You cannot say that I will end my business by 5 years. That is not allowed. So going concern is like you keep on moving ahead and that's it, right? You cannot estimate that when you will end your business. Okay. So, so you told the wrong answer for question in orange box. Okay. So which one is the fundamental accounting principle except? So answer will be option number B over here because consistency and going concern are definitely fundamental. Yes, thank you so much. Tell me how many fundamental principles we have. Tell me how many fundamental principles? Three. So first one is consistency, second one is going concern, and the third one is accrual. So I now hope it is clear. Thank you so much. So that completes our overall lecture. And are we all happy? Are we all happy? Cool. So that winds up our lecture. If you are happy, my friends, then please share your feedback on hello@edutap.co.in. Cool. Now, yes, you can raise your hands. I will unmute one by one. Yes, Soumyajit. Please unmute.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, audible.
सर मेरा सर क्लास तो अच्छा लग रहा है पर एक क्वेश्चन था इस क्लास के रिगार्डिंग भी सर।
हाँ हाँ पूछो।
सर देखिए सर, सेबी के फेज 1 में मैथ्स, इंग्लिश, रीजनिंग और तो करंट अफेयर्स है। सो ये फेज 2 का जो प्रिपरेशन है, आई थिंक आई कैन मेक इट अप टू 40 मार्क्स। मतलब जो होगा, पर मैथ्स, इंग्लिश, रीजनिंग के लिए क्या करेंगे सर? मतलब कुछ तो
उसकी भी लाइव क्लासेस होगी, वो आप अटेंड कर लेना।
सर मैं एग्जाम दे रहा था एसएबी का, यहाँ पे जो टेस्ट सीरीज था। मतलब मैथ्स हो रहा है, रीजनिंग और इंग्लिश में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है। मतलब बहुत दिन से प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया है, सो आई थिंक आई लैग बिहाइंड।
ओके, सो उसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आपको प्रैक्टिस ही करनी पड़ेगी। अब वो आप जितनी जल्दी स्टार्ट करो, देन इट विल बी वेरी वेरी गुड।
इंटरव्यू के प्रिपरेशन के लिए ना वो सब छोड़ दिया था, पर हुआ नहीं।
किसका इंटरव्यू?
मतलब सर, 4 आईबीपीएस एसओ का दिया था, पीएनबी एसओ का
ओके।
दिया था, और उसके बाद 2 बार आईबीपीएस एसओ का इंटरव्यू दिया था, 2 बार पीएनबी एसओ का दिया था। पर वो
ओके
सब
ओके
करते
ओके।
करते सर हुआ ही नहीं। इस बार
तो
आईबीपीएस।
आपको क्वांट रीजनिंग इंग्लिश में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, राइट?
यस सर, अभी जो आईबीपीएस एसओ का रिजल्ट निकला है उसमें इंग्लिश में नहीं हुआ, मतलब प्रीलिम्स से कट
तो
गया।
डोंट वरी, आप यहाँ पे सिर्फ 30 मार्क्स लेने की कोशिश करो पेपर वन में, सेबी के। बट पेपर टू में ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छा स्कोर करने की कोशिश करो। ठीक है, अब 30 मार्क्स तो आप ला सकते हो, करंट अफेयर्स भी है, क्वांट है, रीजनिंग है, इंग्लिश है। और यहाँ पे लेवल जो है वो इजी टू मॉडरेट ही है, ज्यादा टफ भी नहीं होगा। तो अगर आप थोड़ी मेहनत करोगे तो वो हो जाएगा।
तो सर
ओके।
एक और क्वेश्चन है सर, जो फेज 1 है उसके हर एक में अलग अलग करना पड़ेगा सर? मतलब इंग्लिश में एक कट
नो
ऑफ।
नो, सेक्शनल कट ऑफ नहीं है, ओवरऑल कट ऑफ है पेपर वन की, ओवरऑल।
अच्छा, ओके सर,
ओके
थैंक।
ओके। यस, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग टू, हेलो।
हेलो
यस।
सर। मॉर्निंग एक क्विज लिया था जो फर्स्ट क्लास हुआ था उसके बारे में।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
उसमें
हाँ।
एक क्वेश्चन था, उसमें एक वर्ड था ऑक्ट्रॉय बोल के। आई डेंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट
Octroi
इट
is
इज।
basically a kind of a tax only. It's a kind of an expense. You can take it as that. Okay, it's basically like if you are producing something, you have to pay a kind of a tax, which we call it as octroi. Okay.
ओके।
Anything else?
नो सर।
Okay. Yes, Rahul.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a query that the recorded classes, sir, like if you can upload like your team within 1 to 2 hours, that will be
No,
good
no, no,
for us
no.
because
It's not even possible, because see what happens is, once the
yes,
live
sir.
class completes, once the live class completes, the Zoom takes some times for the, I would say, processing of that particular class. Okay. So
Mhm.
Zoom will take almost like 3 to 4 hours for giving the recording to us. The recording then comes to us and then we upload the next day. Because right now it's what, 8:23, our office is already closed. So after 3 hours, we will get the recording. So in morning, we will be able to give you the live class. And once we upload the live class in the portal, it again takes some 1 hour to process it. So total 4 hours of processing is done from the software itself. And then add 2 hours from our side. So I think this much time is like feasible, and you will get your recordings in the promised time frame of 24 hours. Okay.
Okay,
Hello.
sir. Like because sir, like if we get recording late, then we will like will be 1 day behind from the live classes. That's
So
why
that's the
I
issue which I totally acknowledge, but I truly have no solution to it. I will request you to call on this number and talk to them. Tell them that do it completely. They will do it. And I will raise your issue in our group also. Don't worry for that. Okay.
okay, sir.
Yes, now we are talking to Harsh. Yes,
Hi, so
Harsh.
am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, my question is regarding the revenue recognition concept that we talked about, right? It
Mm-hmm.
might be a silly question, but
No, no, don't worry. Just ask.
what if on 1st of Feb we made a sale, but the cash that we are going to receive will be in April. That will be next financial year. So how
Hmm.
that will be recorded, sir?
That will be recorded in the month of Feb itself.
Feb
So
itself. So
once
it,
you are, yes, once you are closing the accounts on 31st March, you will show that this sale was on credit. So a debtor picture will be shown. Debtor is what? From whom you have to take the money.
okay.
right? So let's say that you sold certain amount of goods to one person and he will give you later.
Mhm.
So that if you are recording on that later date, it's cash treatment, which is not allowed. So you have to follow the accrual only. Okay?
Okay, sure. So for
Huh.
that time when the profit and loss statements and other statements will be released,
Mhm.
balance sheet also. So at that time, they will mention the value that let's say it was 10 lakh sales, you know, and
Hmm.
so that 10 lakhs will already mention in that account or in that report.
Yes, in 10, your sale figure will show 10 lakh. But at the same time, you will also have a data in your balance sheet which will show 10 lakh.
Okay, 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 got it.
Right? So,
हम्म,
पक्का?
हाँ हाँ समझ गया, वो मतलब दोनों साइड बैलेंस हो जाएगा, राइट?
हाँ
यहाँ
और
पर तो रखेंगे, फिर वहां
हम्म,
पर भी रखेंगे।
हाँ और फिर जैसे डेटर ने आपको पैसे दे दिए नेक्स्ट ईयर में, राइट? नेक्स्ट ईयर में द डेटर विल गिव यू द money on first of whatever date you told, right? On that date, cash will be coming to your bank account and data will be zero then. So again, there will be a twofold effect. So because of that, everything balances.
Okay, sorted. So, and
Okay.
also, so another thing was the same that Rahul mentioned. That if it's possible to,
I will
if
just
we can raise
talk
it.
to my team and if let's see what happens. But I totally have no command over this, but I will still raise a voice for you.
Totally
Okay?
understand, sir. But if it's something can happen, it's
Uh-huh.
best.
Yes, yes. I will definitely put forward. Okay?
Thank you. So it was great learning session.
Chalo.
Thank you.
All the very best, Harsh. Yes, now we are talking to Umansh. Yes, Umansh.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, audible.
सर विल हिंदी भी ओके और
हाँ हाँ
सुबह
हाँ परफेक्टली कोई बात नहीं।
सर मेरा ये पूछना था जैसे अपनी क्लास सुबह 7 से 10 तक होती है तो जो और वापस शाम को 6 बजे होती है सर। तो
हाँ
उसके बीच में सर उसके बीच में सर रिवीजन और है ना सर जैसे एक और अगर मैं कंपोनेंट करना चाहूँ तो वो एक और कंपोनेंट करना सही रहेगा या फिर जो पढ़ाया है उसका रिवीजन करना सही रहेगा क्योंकि वहां पे भी 7-8 घंटे होते हैं बीच में।
तो आप दूसरा कंपोनेंट कौन सा स्टार्ट करना चाहोगे?
सर मैं जैसे मॉक टेस्ट दे रहा हूँ तो जो क्वांट रीजनिंग इंग्लिश है ना सर तो पेपर 1 में मेरे आराम से फिफ्टी
हाँ।
सिक्स के अराउंड मार्क्स आते हैं मॉक्स में।
हम्म,
तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ जैसे मेरी कॉस्टिंग मैं इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड है तो मेरे को ये कॉस्टिंग और ये और कंपनी लॉ थोड़ा मतलब टेढ़े लगते हैं सर तो वो कम
अच्छा।
समझ आता है सर। तो
हाँ
अगर एक कंपोनेंट शुरू कर सकूं या फिर जो है इसी को रिवाइज करूँ तो क्या चीज ज्यादा सही रहेगी सर।
सी यार, इसमें प्रॉब्लम ये है कि या तो आप कर लो, दैट इज नॉट एन इशू, बट क्योंकि मैं अपनी क्लास में पुराना रिवाइज कराता ही हूँ, राइट? तो वो आपका प्रॉब्लम तो वहाँ सॉल्व हो जाएगा कि एक बार अगर आप रिवाइज नहीं भी करो तो मेरी क्लास में हो जाएगा। बट आपको कहीं बीच में रिवीजन तो डालना ही होगा। चाहे आप कोई भी कंपोनेंट उठा लो, कॉस्टिंग उठा लो बीच में, इट्स नॉट एन इशू, वो सही भी स्ट्रैटेजी है। अगर आप कॉस्टिंग कंपनीज एक्ट अभी करना चाहते हो तो कंपनीज एक्ट थोड़ा डिले कर सकते हो, बट कॉस्टिंग अगर आप स्टार्ट करना चाहते हो तो कर सकते हो बीच में। बट कहीं ना कहीं जैसे एक वीक में संडे आ गया या सैटरडे आ गया या फिर कोई और दिन आ गया, उसमें एक बार रिवीजन जरूर कर लेना जो भी हमने क्लास में पढ़ा है। वरना ऐसा ना हो कि आप कॉस्टिंग पढ़ रहे हो पर कॉमर्स एंड अकाउंट्स भूल गए। ओके।
ओके सर एक चीज और पूछनी थी।
हाँ।
सर जैसे मैंने जो गोल्ड पैकेज है उसका मतलब सब्सक्रिप्शन लिया है तो सर
हाँ।
जो रिवीजन करूं मैं जैसे आप जो क्लास में पढ़ाते हैं तो वो
हम्म।
मैं समरी शीट देखूं या फिर पूरे कंसेप्ट नोट्स देखूं एक बार।
अभी के लिए आप वही देखो समरी शीट, क्योंकि कंसेप्ट नोट्स का भी टाइम है नहीं इतना। बट हाँ, अगर
ओके सर।
पेपर डिले होता है और जैन में होता है फेज 1, तो आप कंसेप्ट नोट्स देख सकते हो। बट अभी के लिए अगर आप समरी शीट देखते हो देन इट्स वेरी वेरी गुड।
ओके सर।
ओके।
बस यही था क्योंकि वो स्ट्रक्चर यही चीज स्ट्रक्चर नहीं कर पा रहा था मैं थोड़ा।
अब
और
हो
कंपनी
जाएगी।
लॉस ने तो सर इस बार जो पीएफआरडीए का फेज 2 भी दिया था मैंने
हाँ।
पीएफआरडीए का तो उसमें भी सर पूरा ही पेपर उस लेट हुआ वो मेरे को।
नहीं नहीं, कंपनीज एक्ट फिर आप रिवाइज करो, क्योंकि अगर आप रिवाइज नहीं करोगे तब मुश्किल हो जाएगा।
ओके सर।
ओके।
ओके सर थैंक यू।
ओके उमांश। यस, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग टू प्रत्युष। यस प्रत्युष, अनम्यूट।
यस सर।
हाँ जी।
हाँ सर, आज मैंने ये क्विज दिया था फर्स्ट लेक्चर का।
हाँ।
तो उसमें एक क्वेश्चन में ये था कि tangible and intangible assets are part of fixed assets.
और टैंजिबल मैं आपको बताऊंगा। टैंजिबल इंटैंजिबल का ही पूछना है ना आपको?
Yes, sir.
देखो मैं अभी बता देता हूँ, बट इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन आपको कल वाली क्लास में भी मिलेगा। ओके,
Okay.
टैंजिबल एसेट आर बेसिकली दोज एसेट्स विच यू कैन टच एंड फील। फॉर एग्जाम्पल
Yes, sir.
मशीन हो गया, आपका बिल्डिंग्स हो गई, राइट? सो इनको मैं फील कर सकता हूँ, टच भी कर सकता हूँ फिजिकल सेंस में।
Sir, इन्वेंट्री को भी तो कर सकते हैं।
हाँ, इन्वेंट्री भी टैंजिबल होगा, बट इन्वेंट्री करंट एसेट में आ जाता है।
हाँ,
ठीक है, तो टैंजिबल अगर आप देखो जनरली फिक्स्ड एसेट्स के लिए यूज होता है। इनटैंजिबल क्या हो गया? जैसे गुडविल, आप गुडविल को फील नहीं कर सकते, यू कैन जस्ट सी इट,
डॉक्यूमेंट।
लाइक मतलब इट्स लाइक यू कैन नॉट टच गुडविल, राइट?
यस।
कैसे अगर मैं किसी कंपनी की गुडविल रेप्यूटेशन की बात करूं कि क्या आप रेप्यूटेशन को जाके छू सकते हो? नहीं
नहीं।
ना। सो दैट रेप्यूटेशन बिकम्स इनटैंजिबल। ओके, सो टैंजिबल इज समथिंग विच यू कैन टच, इनटैंजिबल इज समथिंग विच यू कैन नॉट टच। सो फिक्स्ड एसेट्स में या नॉन करेंट एसेट्स में यू हैव फर्दर क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ टैंजिबल एंड इनटैंजिबल। अभी तो एक और एसेट है फिक्टिशियस एसेट्स, अभी धीरे धीरे आगे आएंगे, बट अभी के लिए आई जस्ट वांटेड टू टेल यू टैंजिबल इज टचिंग, इनटैंजिबल यू कैन नॉट टच, यू कैन जस्ट सी दैट फ्रॉम योर इमेजिनरी आईज। ओके,
सर तो यहाँ क्वेश्चन में विच
हाँ,
ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज इनकरेक्ट है, और
क्वेश्चन
वहाँ
क्या है? आप
टेंजिबल
मेरे को
एंड
क्वेश्चन बता दोगे?
क्वेश्चन नंबर 23 मैं चैट में शेयर कर दूं स्क्रीनशॉट।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, करो करो करो। Yes, yes, rest. If your doubts are no there, then you can leave. And multiple doubts are there in the chat. But I request you to raise your hand so that we can talk and complete your class. Yes, are you doing it, Prityush?
यस सर, इट्स गोइंग।
हाँ हाँ, ओके, आराम से।
आई थिंक इट वेंट।
Yes, yes, wait. It is getting loaded. Which of the following statement is incorrect? So assets can be categorized into current, non-current. So this statement is correct. Inventory is a type of a current. This is also correct. Fixed asset is a type of a non-current asset. Fixed asset is a type of a non-current asset. Okay, we will take it. Tangible and intangible assets are a part of fixed assets. None of the above is the correct answer. Yes, इसमें अब doubt क्या है आपका?
तो टेंजिबल को मींस इन्वेंट्री भी तो एक टेंजिबल एसेट्स है, और इन्वेंट्री करेंट एसेट्स में आता है,
हाँ,
तो इस हिसाब से डी गलत होना चाहिए।
tangible and intangible are part of fixed assets. अब आप कह रहे हो कि tangible fixed current asset में भी आता है, right?
यस।
बट यहाँ पे ओनली थोड़ा ना लिखा है। अगर यहाँ पे ओनली लिखा होता, नहीं नहीं, अगर यहाँ पे लिखा होता टैंजिबल एंड इनटैंजिबल एसेट्स आर ओनली पार्ट ऑफ फिक्स्ड एसेट्स, तब जाके ये
ओके।
परफेक्टली वो होता, समझ रहे हो आप? या फिर
ओके।
इसको अगर दूसरे एंगल से देखें, टैंजिबल एंड इनटैंजिबल आर पार्ट ऑफ फिक्स्ड एसेट्स। अब ये स्टेटमेंट सही है इसके अकॉर्डिंग, और आप ये बोल रहे हो गलत है, राइट? यही डाउट है ना?
यस सर।
बात तो आपकी सही है, बट टैंजिबल इज समथिंग विच वी यूज इट फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म ओनली, इनटैंजिबल भी। सो इन दैट सेंस इट इज मेकिंग सम सेंस। अगर आप अब चार्ट भी देखते हो तो फिक्स्ड एसेट इज फर्दर क्लासिफाइड इनटू टैंजिबल, इनटैंजिबल, कैपिटल, वर्क इन प्रोसेस एंड। अब अगर आप चार्ट के अकॉर्डिंग देखो, जो हमारे करंट एसेट्स है उनके अंदर इन लोगों ने टैंजिबल इंटैंजिबल की फोटो नहीं बताई है,
हाँ।
राइट? अगर आप करंट एसेट्स
यस सर।
देखोगे यहाँ पे, करंट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, इन्वेंट्री, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल, कैश एंड कैश इक्विवेलेंट, शॉर्ट टर्म loans, other current assets. So that was, I was overall telling to you that tangible or intangible is generally heading under fixed assets only and not under current assets. So based on this image, yes, this statement is correct. Therefore, the answer is none of the above. राइट? अब आपका कहना सही
Yes.
है कि टैंजिबल तो इन्वेंट्री भी हो सकती है, बट टैंजिबल एंड इनटैंजिबल आर जनरली यूज फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म एसेट्स एंड नॉट फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म एसेट्स। ओके,
Okay.
एंड ये हम लोग कल वाली क्लास में करेंगे, बट अभी आपने पूछ लिया तो देयर इज नो इशू इन दिस। ओके
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
ओके, यस, सो वेयर वर वी? यस, निशांत, चंदन एंड जयेश। यस निशांत।
The difference between accounting concept and accounting principle.
Same only. Right now, like I told you that generally they are accounting concepts, accounting principles, accounting postulates, accounting concepts, and these are collectively called as GAPs, generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, but yes, there is finer difference, but you don't need to understand that. Okay,
And so dividend can be non-current liabilities,
dividend
can be non-current liabilities.
for a company.
Yes, sir.
If dividend is announced, then it's a current liability because dividend has to be paid in 1 year.
Okay.
Right? And dividend is not a liability if it is not announced. डिविडेंड मैंडेटरी नहीं होता है। डिविडेंड अगर आपको देना होगा तब जाके वो करंट लाइबिलिटी होगा, नॉन करंट पे तो नहीं आएगा। ओके
Okay. Thank you, sir.
ओके, यस जयेश प्लीज अनम्यूट।
सर मेरा एक्चुअली पर्सनल डाउट है, स्पेसिफिक जो स्ट्रीम है उसके रिलेटेड, जो अपना रिसर्च स्ट्रीम में अगर अप्लाई करना है तो उसके रिलेटेड डाउट है कि अगर मेरे पास एक्सटर्नल पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट है पुणे यूनिवर्सिटी से तो उसमें कर सकता हूँ ना सर मैं अप्लाई? कॉमर्स में है, एमकॉम मेरा एक्सटर्नल हुआ वाला है।
सॉरी, आई डोंट हैव एनी इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट रिसर्च स्ट्रीम बिकॉज हम
ओके,
लोग जर्नल स्ट्रीम से ही डील करते हैं। ओके,
अच्छा। और उसका प्रिपरेशन करने के लिए सर अलग से कुछ करना पड़ेगा क्या अगर एलिजिबिलिटी रहती है?
रिसर्च के बारे में?
हाँ।
हाँ, उसका पेपर ही डिफरेंट होता है, उसका फेज 1 पेपर 2, फेज 2 पेपर 2 ही डिफरेंट होगा।
ओके।
ओके, तो अगर आप जर्नल और रिसर्च दोनों में करते हो तो जर्नल का पेपर भी देना और रिसर्च का भी देना होगा।
हाँ।
ओके,
यस सर। ओके सर।
राइट,
यस सर।
ओके। Surya is asking, can I assume that current assets are always tangible? No, right? You don't have to assume. Tangible and intangible things happens with fixed assets only. So why you are taking in the current asset, I don't know. Yes, Chandan, you have again raised your hand.
Sir, where can I find the quiz for the first class?
It is
And
given in your course. Like अभी आप लाइव क्लासेस के फोल्डर में हो, एक स्टैटिक करके कंपोनेंट होगा कॉमर्स एंड अकाउंट्स का, वहां जाना, वहां पे यू विल गेट द क्विजेस ऑफ ऑल द चैप्टर्स व्हिच वी आर कवरिंग वन बाय वन। ओके,
static,
कॉमर्स एंड अकाउंट स्टैटिक। ओके,
okay. And one more thing, sir, it would be helpful if the slide for the same lecture would be
आई
provided
हैव
in the
ऑलरेडी
beginning.
शेयर्ड।
No,
ओके,
no,
इन
in the
बिगनिंग।
beginning. Yes, sir. So it would be helpful while in the
कूल
next.
कूल, जस्ट रिमाइंड मी टुमारो, आई विल गिव यू द क्लास। ओके, चलो। So I think I have addressed all the doubts. So that's it. Please, people, if possible, if you are enjoying the class, do share your feedback. Classes कैसी है, समझ आ रहा है, interactive है, are you able to understand the concepts or not? On hello@edutap.co.in. Your one feedback will make us happy. That's it. Have a great day ahead. Chandan, you have again raised your hand. Yes, Chandan.
No, sir, it must have
Okay, okay,
mistake.
okay. Cool, cool.